Welcome to the GRG Podcast, the place for all your gaming news, plus hot topics of the week. Also remember to follow us on Twitter at KMEGA4.
All right, here we go. Now I hit the right button. What's going on, everybody? The GRG podcast is live, and I'm supposed to be coming here a little bit later. Unfortunately, Clowns, if you didn't know, Clowns is under the weather. He caught the COVID, and so therefore, man, he caught the T virus, as we call it out here. And man, he said he wasn't really feeling good. He kept apologizing. I was like, "There's no need to, brother. We totally understand." So most likely he'll probably come next week, but that's fine. But I hope everybody give him a lot of good wishes, well wishes. And man, but anyway, our other guest, man, he is definitely here and he's ready, and we are ready. We got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a really good show. Um, and it's going to be return of one of the partners, man, we haven't seen in a while because of work and everything like that. I'm expecting him to come in, and it is the man, if you've been following this show, it is the man that we do not know his nationality. So get ready for that. Our boy Op, he'll be coming here a little bit later. But man, let's go ahead and get this started, man. Without further ado, man, got one of the hottest podcasts around right now, man. But if you are living under a rock, I would hope you would want to go with this, man. Does out here in the community, man. I really appreciate you coming to do your damn thing, man. And man, again, you know what I'm saying? The collaboration is great. I really appreciate all the love that you and your team has given me for the time that I came over there onto y'all's podcast and all of that, man. It's just good to see people throughout the communities just
And
doing
get on with the show.
good stuff, man. So anyway, uh, let's get to it, man. What's up, my man Dirt? What's happening with you? And let everybody know what you do with your podcast and all that. For, like I said, for anybody that don't know, that's living under a rock.
First off, thank you, man, for inviting me back on the show. I've been rocking out with KMEGA for a long time, man, long time. From him being on Xbox podcast, which he's obviously still on to this day. So yeah, I appreciate you inviting me back on, man. Check out, when you guys get the chance, check out WBG Xbox podcast on my channel, Dirt Griggity, Monday evenings at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have fun over there. We're Xbox pro Xbox channel. Yeah, Xbox Central. But we do talk about everything. And, we might take shots at PlayStation fanboys, but that's not only what we talk about. Some people think we're just this echo chamber, just bash PlayStation channel. And that's really not it, because I actually like the PlayStation a lot. But come on and check us out, man. And, check out my channel in general. I do regular little videos also. So
yeah, good content, man. Good, cool quality content. None of that crazy clickbait garbage. Just a good show, man. I appreciate what you guys do and in your videos.
Thank you.
Your covers are stupid with your tongue out. I'll be like, what is this dude doing, man?
I don't know. I always try to put my face on the thumbnail somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might be in the back. Yeah, I'm just silly, man. I'm just being silly.
Yeah, I know. It's all in fun, but it's great. I just crack up every time I see him. I'm like, man, what is this dude doing, man? This is nice. But all right, man. Well, let's get over here and get to the bums. Straight up, man. Bum number one. What's happening with you? Bloody good to have you back, man. Knew that you was doing life things, and so, man, what's popping? What's happening?
Hey man, it's good to be back. For those who don't know, I had a lot going on. I've been taking time off away from everything, right? I was like, I'm not even on socials right now as much. Took a little time off of streaming and everything. In the middle of a move and all sorts of stuff going on. But man, it's good to be back to doing things a little bit. I was like, still gonna be a little slow, but I got things planned for 2021. I was like, I got stuff. I was like, I'm gonna be really back into it coming in February, with all the streams, getting Smash set back up, having a lot of things going with that. I'm going to be doing more over here on YouTube, as well as doing more on Facebook. So I got a lot of things kind of in the works on my end, but man, it's just good to be back around with the crew. Other than that, I've been trying to game a bit whenever I can, but packing for moose kind of suck, right? But there's one thing I gotta say, right? I've been spending a lot of time kind of digging through the backlogs of some of the stuff in Game Pass, and everyone knows that I'm the Japanese enthusiast, and I'm the anime dude, right? Well, I've said multiple times that anime games are always hit and miss, and there's a lot of misses. And I finally tried to give that Sword Art Online game a try, and my God, I cannot force myself through that. It is just so bad. I was like, I already hate Sword Art Online, but the game itself is just god awful, from the mechanics to just the story and everything in it. And if you vouch for that game, shut the hell up. It's bad. It's poorly written and it's poorly put together. And that's why anime games have such a bad rap. That's one of the biggest staples on why they're looked at really badly.
What game is this again?
Fatal Bullet. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. That was just bad as hell.
Oh man, really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it tries to be a third person shooter, but the shooting mechanics in the game suck. The controls are just convoluted as hell. The aiming system is bad. The guns and the way you upgrade them and things like that is just weird as hell. It tries to be an RPG, but it doesn't do a good job of it. And it tries to be a third person shooter and is horrible for it. And then just how all the mapping for the controls is bad. To switch weapons is only right on the D-pad. To change shoulders is left on the D-pad. And then you have an auto assist mode, which greatly increases your recoil, but that's up, and it makes your shots weaker. And it handles just horribly, right? I tried to play it multiple times. I'm just like, I can't do this. I was like, I will not play this game of my own free accord. If someone gets it for me, then yeah, I'll sit through for that person. But I was like, out of my own choice, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do this to myself.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I'm sorry that game did not do it for you, but it's good for you to be back. And also, I just brought him up, and he came in here. My main man, the man with no nationality, Operation Op. What's happening with you, brother?
Listen, man, you keep that shit up. I'm going back into hiding.
Woo!
I'm letting you know right now.
I'm gonna...
I've been telling you guys for the past while, the man's Mongolian, all right? He just looks black.
Man.
Oh, big boy pants on tonight. He talking greasy.
I know. Between him and PK, I don't know what to expect tonight. But anyway, what's up with you, Op? Good to have you back, brother.
Oh, yeah, good to be back, man. But nothing, just chilling over here, bro. Like, I finally tore myself away from Gears 5 to play games I haven't finished yet, so I'm right back on Control right now, and that's been pretty fun so far.
Nice.
I beat Cyberpunk not too long ago. I immediately got a refund for that shit, so life is good
Oh,
over here.
see, Slayer, I told you. So, okay.
That doesn't prove anything because he can't and he can button again later. What the hell? Duh.
But he's got a refund. He beat it and then got a refund. Oh my goodness.
Damn right.
There was okay, my boy Cali
It has
Rex,
multiple endings, so it's like you beat it once, it doesn't matter.
Right, but hold on. But this is the thing, though. My boy Cali Rex, he sat there and he hit me up today, just a few minutes before the show started, about Cyberpunk, and I want to make it a topic, but we got enough topics tonight to talk about, so I want to be having a show tomorrow. So that's going to be something that I'm definitely going to be talking about tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to be bringing back GRG Extra, but it's going to be, it's not going to be on Saturdays or every Saturday or something like that. It's probably a once a month thing. But because there's some people that just can't make it on Friday nights, they got, family duties or they got to work or whatever the case may be. There's some people that just can't make it on Friday. So I'm like, man, I got to try to get these people on that want to come on and just accommodate for them. So for those people, I'll have them on tomorrow. And we'll talk about that because I think that's going to be a hot topic. But yeah, man, thank you, Cali Rex, for throwing that at me, man, because that was really cool. But see, a lot of people is doing what Op is doing. I'm telling you, they're beating the game, and then they're taking it back. I mean, they're taking it back and they're getting a refund, and that's
yeah. People have been doing that for longer than Op has been alive.
I know,
not
but that's going
new.
to hurt that wallet, especially when on top of those lawsuits. But anyway, that's
we
a
won't
whole
talk about
other
that
topic.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. So, all right. But anyway, let's get up to PK Live. What's up with you, brother?
Hey, what's good? Happy to be here, guys. And since Bloody was dumping on a game, I'm gonna dump on a game too.
Oh my God.
This Call of Duty Cold War is probably the worst shooter I have ever played.
Yo,
I have
get
never
back in the
seen
time machine. Come back to
anybody.
2021.
Nah, F that.
Get away from
No.
bro.
Listen, it's 2021. We're going in hard on everything. Ain't nothing getting anything.
Hey,
Let them know.
I don't care how popular this game is. This game is trash. Utter garbage. They need to take this back and throw it away. I know what happened. I know the original guys that were working on the game couldn't finish it, and somebody picked up the slack. Well, they effed this game up. Okay, they effed this game up, and a lot of people who played the last Black Ops said that one was better. This one, I don't know what they were doing. Honestly, I don't. So many issues. Yes,
Modern Warfare,
and they encourage the bad behavior. They encourage the camping and the I'm just going to sit here and snipe because this is the best gun and no other gun and yes, I'm gonna do all this raggedy gameplay and have these raggedy modes and then push all these pay for these skins. You see this before you see the game. Pay for skins all day, every day. I've never seen nobody. I don't want to hear nobody complain about Gears, Halo, or nothing else about microtransactions until you get this bullshit ass Call of Duty out of my face. Get that out of here. This is straight trash. And if you guys like it, I'll pray for you because you need to get some real shooters in your life.
All right, let me offer what is not. Not a rebuttal. Because I don't disagree with him at all. And I don't want to get in that. I don't want to get in his wrath.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, anyway. Hit that like button. Share this out. We got PK in rare form. He was already chewing our ear off about COD before we started the show. Like, I mean, he came in. I was like, hey, PK, what's going on? Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, my God. Are you serious? But anyway.
But real talk, he's not even joking. And the fact that even worse is they tried to mix that mix the way that Call of Duty with Black Ops and how it works within Warzone and Modern Warfare. Those games have two totally different systems, and they broke each other the worst possible way. It's just like, why did you not?
I think it works. I think it works.
No, it does not.
Okay. All right. This isn't about. Okay, stop.
This was just my intro. I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to get it out.
This isn't we can talk about COD some other time, but come on, man, we got some stuff to talk about. But let me go to Slayer, my boy Slick.
Oh my God! Wow, twice I had to hear it. That was the thing. Wow. Okay, listen. So, I just want to, and it's not a rebuttal because there's nothing I disagree with what you said at all. I just want to say, this has been the case for like over a decade. Except for the skins and stuff, it used to actually be worse with the loot boxes and everything. Like, way worse, okay? And I agree. Last year's Modern Warfare was a better playing game, but to say this game is crap because of all these things that's always been a part of Call of Duty, ignorance is bliss, I guess. And I don't mean that as an insult. Don't play these Call of Duties if this is what you have an issue with, because they're all like that and they've always been like that. What's up, everybody? Let's talk about a real good game, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is what we were talking about when he hopped in.
Yes, that greatness is back.
Yes, the greatness is back with no HDR, but the greatness is back.
You know what? It don't need it though. I mean, it's pixelated. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, if like, another game doesn't come to mind that's like these type of graphics, but on 360, if it was backwards compatible, it would have had the auto HDR, and you would have seen the difference.
But I mean, it's still
a monitor look. It's a thing. But anyway,
but it still looks great. I mean, but I was like, that's the beauty of art style. When you have a good art style, it don't matter. It always looks good.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. So so let's get to the very first topic. All right. Capcom, right? Because I was going to skip it because I was like, you guys over here talking about COD and everything else, but I'm like, that's fine. We'll just go ahead and get through it because I don't think this is going to be a long topic at all. Capcom came out and released some more information about them getting hacked. If you remember listening to us talk about it, probably about almost a month ago, that it was a really big deal. PK really broke it down, talked about it in full detail. Now coming to find out, it's a lot worse than what they even anticipated, where it was around, I guess, at first 15,000, people, and then it was a lot of, data and things like that brought out. Well, now it's turned to almost 500,000. I think, almost 400,000. I think it's 396,000 people or something like that within the business itself. And then there was more information that was leaked. So not only did these people breach and take like tons of information, and now that's what we kind of know what the template or the blueprint is for the games that's going to be coming out for Capcom in the next coming years. But they've also got information for how much people get paid, for who's, they found little dirt. It was almost kind of similar to what happened when Korea, when I believe that's North Korea, when they spied on Sony. And so this is turning to be pretty significant. So the question that I have is it's twofold. Can Capcom recover out of this? Because we know that some of the games that they're going to be coming up with are going to be hits. We look and see with the Resident Evil 8, The Village, that looks stellar. That game looks beautiful graphically. And then of course, hearing about Power Stone and then everything else. So I'm going to go to you first, Dirt. Now, is this going to be one of those things to where Capcom can get themselves out of this hole, or is it that when the more information that we come to hear and find out that gets leaked out, will this hamper them going forward? What do you think?
Well, I just think it depends on them. I guess when it happened to Sony, they, it hit those guys pretty hard, but they were able to recover. Even like some other things, like that wasn't a hack, but really hurt the company. How things hurt Xbox in the past with faulty Xbox 360s, and they were able to recover. Now I know this is different. This is about people like personal business potentially being open for people to see. But I think they will probably be okay. Now, if it gets worse, like there's even more people I don't know, but it also depends on how deep their pockets are. And I'm not sure if their pockets is as deep as maybe a Sony or Microsoft.
Right.
I know it's not as deep as Microsoft, but I think they'll be okay as long as people know, because people tend to forget if you put out some quality content. They tend to forget. Oh well, yeah, okay, yeah, Resident Evil 8 is amazing, or the next whatever game is amazing, so they will tend to forget. So I think they will be okay. Maybe I don't know enough about it to really form a really valid opinion, but I think hopefully they'll be okay. Hopefully.
Okay. All right. What about you, PK? Because I know that we talked about this extensively. Pretty because it was one of the last topics of the night, but that came out to be a pretty solid topic. It was just the fact that the whole data breach, all of that. Like, man, I mean, we know that there was a lot of rumors about, maybe Sony or somebody maybe trying to get Capcom, but now, from all the problems that they've been having, and then also on top of that, the debt that they have, I don't think nobody want to touch them with a flagpole, but they have so many great IPs, and the games that they have been dropping have been great. Even though, we could talk about Resident Evil, the Resident Evil 3, whatever, and how short that game is, but still, these games graphically and what they've been doing has been amazing. So are they fine, or is this going to be one of them things where down the future we'd be looking at Capcom maybe wanting to be purchased by somebody?
So all breaches are pretty significant because you got to report such things. More than likely they got to worry about fines and things like that. But as far as the personal or the personal emails and all that, that's pretty typical for that kind of breach. I mean, we knew about it, just the numbers didn't come out, right? They had a report, they had one, they just didn't go into detail how far it went. So it's what I'm getting at. It's not really a new thing. It's just more like they had to go public with the amount of detail. Um, as far as their breach is concerned, it's pretty significant. Uh, not just trade secrets, not just personal data, but financial data, right? Um, typically, this kind of thing could either hurt your brand to the point where no one will trust you again, and or you may not even get loans from banks for your business because your brand is hurt, right? And I don't even know if these guys even had uh, any kind of insurance, or what does their cyber plan look like? I mean, we've seen a lot of data breaches in the past 6 months that are huge and significant. um and Capcom is a private owned company, so whoever targeted him, which could be a competitor, right? um Competitors are known for that kind of thing. It could be an inside disgruntled employee. But far as whatever their plans are, I'm sure 100% positive that they're going to be affected laterally, because you know uh, you're going to have a lot of people that probably quit. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to be afraid of whatever exposure they might be. They have to recoup this and recoup this financially, as well as their brand. So it's a lot to kind of swallow, being in their position. And I mean, they just got out of court winning a suit against Koei over some petty stuff, which not even giving them any kind of gains financially. So and then what we talked about last week, how they just put up um their new policy on uh their content. So
Oh, right, on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's almost like they're trying to find ways to nitpick to try to get some kind of recoup, right? Um, at the same time, even if they do any of these games, will they have the same quality as the games we remember? That's what we got to look at, right? Because how many Capcom games have came out as of recently have been good? I mean, Dead Rising 4 was trash. Street Fighter 5 is trash. I mean, we can keep going on and on, but how many Capcom games have been released? I just talked about Resident Evil 3 being a disappointment. So, and they even had 2 games with that. So, how many games have they actually put out as of recently that has had quality that's worth spending money on? I mean, Monster Hunter was a boon for them, and that came out years ago. So here we are. Rise is in a good spot, but that's also, you know, Nintendo spent a lot of money to keep it off of other platforms for 6 months. So if Switch is not your main gaming platform, you probably ain't gonna see that.
No,
Probably not
because there
gonna
was
hop
people
on
that
it.
didn't. Yeah, because there was big YouTubers that I was watching some of their stuff on their channels, and they were talking about that they didn't even know that was going to be. They thought it was just primarily exclusive to Nintendo, and didn't even know that it was going to be coming to other consoles.
So the breach showed that
yeah.
Nintendo spent a lot of money to keep it off of other platforms for 6 months. So that was one of the things that was discovered from the breach. So it's definitely it's definitely significant whenever stuff like that come out, where you see the dealings between these companies, and to me that's big because that shows that Nintendo is playing just as dirty as Sony, trying to keep content off of other platforms.
Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy. I mean, and I guess people can kind of understand how the willing and dealing of how these exclusive rights go. I kind of don't like them either, especially when we know that these games could easily go over. But it sells consoles. I mean, I talked about this last week. Final Fantasy VII sold tons of PlayStation 4. So and then I seen somebody even still still saying that was an exclusive to PlayStation, even though it was already been out there that game is only going to be a year exclusive.
Exclusive to a year, but
Yeah.
they have, and not to get too off topic, but Sony already has a deal with Square where they are paying for those exclusive deals for Square.
Right.
They have a close relationship with Square, so it's to be expected.
Yeah.
But as far as Capcom is concerned, I mean, it's I don't really care what game they come out with. They have to prove to us, the gamers, that they can deliver like they used to back in the day before PS4 and Xbox One, the 360 days. You tell me what game in this generation, outside of my favorite Dead Rising 3, which was an Xbox exclusive. I don't know why nobody talks about it, but it's the best Dead Rising game ever made. And outside of that, how many Capcom games were great this generation? That wasn't a remake.
Well, you mean this generation, or you talking about last generation?
I would say Xbox One, PS4 generation.
Yeah, last generation.
How about that?
I got you.
Resident Evil 7.
Well, yeah, Resident Evil 7 was really good. All right, so before
that's debatable, but go ahead.
Yeah, but
to the level he's talking about, no, but you did well.
Okay, we're not going to do that. And also, I got another guest that come in here. Good to have you come on first time. We got a lady in the building, gentlemen. So let's keep it right. You know what I'm saying? Well, I should say people in the chat, because people in the chat are out. No, I'm not just playing. What's going on with you, Mitch? You know what I'm saying? Why is your name different in here? It says, what is this? Something Mitch dies a lot.
Mitchy dies a lot.
Mitchy dies a lot. So you don't want me to say your other name, or you want me to say this name? I don't care. Which one? You there? Uh-oh.
She might still be checking her audio settings.
Her audio. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and let you get the audio settings right. But okay, let me go ahead and go to you on this one, Slayer. What is your thoughts about this with Capcom? I mean, do you think that this is going to be one of those things where it's where Capcom is going to be in trouble, or are they going to be fine because of the game lineups that they have and what they got going down the line?
Oh, well, welcome to our guest as soon as she fixes her mic there.
Yeah.
This Capcom thing, you just heard me. So, when we first had spoken about this, I think that was the last topic of that episode that night. you mentioned that earlier. Yeah, and I was saying we don't know how much information was released and what information was released. So it's potentially, company killing information depending on what was out there. Then fast forward to a week later, wasn't as bad as it could have been, right? And now we're starting to hear maybe it was pretty freaking bad. Like they tried within that week, they were able to downplay how bad it seemed, but now the truth is, seems to come to light that it was pretty bad. Not as bad as to kill the company, I don't think, but definitely tough times ahead. And we know a lot about their roadmap, right? A lot of the games they plan to make, deals between platform holders, like the situation there with Nintendo. A lot of their inside info, personal emails of that's still a lot of damning info, and we still don't know to what extent. Still, we don't know everything. If there's source code to say Street Fighter, because there are a lot of clones, but they don't get it exactly right. If this, for example, just that was to come out, or some past, transgression that never hit the public, that's it could be really bad for the company. Who knows? But for now, they're just going to be in for a tough time, and they need a couple of titles to come out, to be out there, to put their name up in lights, because they could really use that goodwill right now, because things are looking pretty bad. PK is right. The past generation pass, there's really not much I could say that was that big of a deal. Resident Evil 7, yeah, but Sony paid for the exclusivity to keep the VR.
Y'all didn't like Devil May Cry 5?
Oh, it was cool. It was cool.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. Trust.
Right. It didn't blow up. That's what I was saying earlier about Resident Evil.
But
it didn't blow up to the level that it could and should have to really be the type of title we're talking.
It's a massive comeback after the fail that was
absolutely.
Because a lot of, but that's the thing is that y'all are giving it a lot harder look at than what it should have been. You gotta realize
they
fell off. They fell off really bad. The whole last generation, they were completely hurting.
Yeah, but hang on. You'll speak on this a little bit. Once I say this, is that it's not accurate to compare something when the last two have been crap to say that this one's a lot better, and then and I give it the thumbs up because of that. Like if the last two games or whatever were crap, and this one is not crap, and it's automatically good. No, I'm not saying anything negative about the game in and of itself.
What? Come on, man. That's being way too overcritical at that point.
I'm not being critical. I'm telling you,
if it's an improvement over the game, which I did like the last version of Devil May Cry. I thought that was.
Did you finish it?
No, I didn't. It was good, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't finish it, but I thought it was good
also.
That's my point. 4 was amazing. I finished it and did the hardest everything.
Right?
But 5 dropped off.
Thank you, Dirt. It's objective. See,
it's all subjective.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, well, how many people are still playing it versus 4?
No, it's single player. Can I say something right quick and make it out?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No offense, but you guys are acting like your opinion is fact, man. I mean, if you didn't like it, I mean,
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm talking about.
But it is my opinion, but I'm also arguing it. I'm also arguing my opinion, making good points against it. So yes, it is single player, just like Persona 5, which I played thousands of times. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, I played 1,000 times. Any single player game, if I like it, I'm gonna play it over and over. It doesn't matter if it's single player or not. If it has that appeal, then yes.
So So you're comparing some RPGs that's hundreds of hours to a game like Devil May Cry 5.
I have played. Let me tell you, you can look at all the games I played. Devil May Cry and those action games is my jam. I don't care if it's Bayonetta. I don't care if it's Ninja Gaiden. Those are my jam, and I played the shit out of it, backwards and forwards. I do not leave no stone unturned. I get all the achievements, every single one.
But now look at this. I have
that's the game that unturned. I get all the achievements, every single one.
Uh-oh. You got to turn it down, Michelle.
That's the game that I unturned. I get all the achievements, every single one.
I hear, there's a show.
That's the game
We hear the background.
I get all the achievements, every single one.
Oh.
There's a show.
That's the game
Yeah, that's you. That's you. We can hear your feedback.
Oh.
You got to turn the background on.
I get
You got to turn the background on. Hold on, let me fix that for you, so you can get that right. Hold on.
It's getting louder.
It is getting louder. She's trying. I can tell. It's okay. This is her first time on Discord. Did you got it? You got it?
No worries.
You got it? Okay. No, just go ahead and fix it. It's okay. It's no problem. It's your first time on Discord. Discord is not fun for people for their first time. Trust me. It's a blast once you learn what to do with it. But if you're one of the people that come in and you used to doing Hangouts and all that other stuff, but I was tired of Google always changing Hangouts. So I was like, in the Meets thing, I'm like, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm just, which Meets is fine. It's just that I don't feel like for what I was doing with the changes with what I was doing with the podcast, it just wasn't going to work. So I was just like, no, I'm just going to go with Discord. So it's okay. Just take your time. It's no problem. So all right. So go ahead and finish, gentlemen. I was sorry.
So yeah, PK said whatever. Okay, but to address what Dirt Griggity was saying, very specifically about facts, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sales numbers. I bet you if you look at the sales numbers, Resident Evil 7 did a lot better than the past two games that we knew did badly. But it didn't do to the heights, not even close to the heights of the games that came before that. So it was an improvement, and I'm sure the numbers would bear that out. What I said is not an opinion. That's just straight facts.
But you didn't say the sales. You said the game was trash to you.
No, I didn't. I said it didn't do as well. If you rewind back, you'll hear. I said it didn't do as well, and then everybody was jumping on me, and I couldn't clarify myself. I just mean.
I thought Resident Evil 7 did well. So you say it didn't sell as well as what? It didn't sell as well as what, 6? I thought it sold better than 6.
Oh no, it would have easily do better than 6 because 6 was one of those two games that I'm saying that didn't do too well at all. That really tarnished the franchise.
This is what I'm going to do.
So you're saying it didn't do as well as what then?
So what came out before? Oh, well, then 5 basically.
If you shop on Amazon, you should use this tool. It's a browser extension that.
What came out before? Oh, well, then 5 basically.
If you shop on Amazon, you should use this tool.
Nope.
We can. Okay, so as long as you turn off.
I'm embarrassed, and I'm gonna go.
No, you're fine because we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can't hear them.
Okay, all right. So okay, all right. So she can't hear us. I'm gonna have to talk to her through the chat or whatever. But okay, let me see if I can try to do this. But anyway, okay, please continue, gentlemen. Let me try to help her with this.
Actually, 5 and 6 did way better than 7. Twice as much.
Well,
twice as much.
So you said 5 and 6 did what?
5 and 6 did twice as much as 7. Combined, 13 million. 7 only did 7.
So hold on. So you're like combining 2 games to 1?
No, both of them sold double digits, where 7 only sold 7 million copies on all platforms combined.
Okay. So, and back to what I was originally trying to say when I brought up all of this in the first place was that Capcom and PK's point, I think, was very salient, that all last generation, did Capcom really do anything that big that really had their names up in lights? I would say no. Now, that's in the opinion, but the first game you guys brought up was Resident Evil 7, and I think the knock to that game was not the game in and of itself, was the fact that they locked the VR to the PlayStation. It should have definitely had that on PC. PC gamers have been asking for this and I'm telling you, it could probably sell like a couple more million I think off of that, like $1.5 million maybe, off of that alone.
Just to tag along to that, you know what's even worse? Devil May Cry 5 barely outsold the first one, but did tremendously worse compared to 4.
So are we talking about Devil May Cry or are we talking about Resident Evil?
We're talking about all of Capcom.
Okay, so now I just looked it up. It said the Resident Evil 7 sold better than 6.
I'm looking
Resident
at it
Evil
right
7.
now. I'm looking at their records now. The number one sold game of Capcom of all time is definitely Monster Hunter World. And then it goes on to Street Fighter 2, Resident Evil 5 at 13.4 million, then Resident Evil 6 at 11.23 million, and then 4 at 10.39 million, and then Monster Hunter. And then it goes on and on and on until you get now.
What am I looking at? Because what I'm looking at,
I have no idea.
7.6 million.
Yeah, 7 sold 7.6.
Resident Evil, no. It said like when I'm looking at Resident Evil 6 sold 7.6 million.
Yeah, probably on one platform.
Hang on, you also got to look at the fact that 5 and 6 both got a double boost in sales because they were released across 2 generations 4 years later. If you look at when they hang on, no, you still got to take that into account with the fact that original launch. The fact is that they were comparable.
Explain Devil May Cry 5.
All right, so this is the thing I got because this to me sounds ridiculous. It's because it sounds like sales numbers is what's determining what makes it good.
Exactly.
And that sounds ridiculous. It shouldn't matter about. No.
But it comes in reception and how it's not even viewed critically. It's by the community.
All this debate is off of what I was saying, and none of you have. Maybe it's my fault because I'm not being clear enough.
Yeah, because you're not being clear enough.
Okay, listen. Because you're twisting my words when I said about the sales. But if the games were that hot, they would have sold accordingly. They hadn't for the whole last gen. That was PK's point, and I agree with him. If you guys want to disagree,
fine. Everybody got a point to have. But
I think,
that's fine.
This point is easily determined via the sales numbers. So I feel like we should just find out what it is and come back to this at a later time because we really don't know now. And to debate on this without the info really isn't helpful, I think.
Okay, well, I just think that when we get into this talk about sales, which is something that we look at when PlayStation fans jump on Xbox game sales, and then we say that that's stupid, I think it still goes and applies to everything else. It does. And so that's the thing is where, we know if a game is highly successful, a game is going to definitely get a sequel. But if the game still gets a sequel, even if it didn't outsell a predecessor, does that make that game less? No, just because it didn't hit sales. Because if that's the case, there wouldn't be no Personas after Persona 1 or 2 or 3. So
there might not be no more Dead Risings because Dead Rising 4 was garbage.
But that's exactly what I was about to mention is that look at 4. I was like 3 was really good, but it didn't sell well. But guess what? They made 4, made a multi-platform. And guess what?
So,
4 was significantly worse than what 3 did. And look at what happened to that. Yeah. And look at that.
Yeah, but there's also a story behind that too. Also, it's also a story behind why 4 is much worse than 3. There's a YouTube video stating about the whole challenge that they had with 4, the studio. It's actually a pretty good video. You guys can look it up.
Yeah, but the fact of it is it still goes into the fact of just because a game gets a sequel, like you said, doesn't inherently make it better, because the fact that depending on reception, not just critically but commercially, it can change. Like what I was trying to say is that we talked about Resident Evil 6 and then we mentioned DMC 4, right? The thing is, while those games may have sold, the reception, especially from the community, put less trust from Capcom and what they were doing with that franchise. A lot of people had mixed feelings about 5 when it comes to Resident Evil because they didn't necessarily like more of the action appeal. While it worked for 4, 5 was going straight full on into the action, stepping away from the horror. 6 went so far into the action, people did not like it. It was already disjointed with the way that the story held up. A lot of people didn't know if Resident Evil was going to really be able to do well after that. The reason I said 7 was good and a big thing because that was a turnaround for them because it went back to the roots of what made Resident Evil enjoyable. Yes, it was first person and some people liked it, some people didn't. But it it still improved upon it and gave life back into that series, and why people are hyped for what they're doing with 8, with Village, just like what DMC 5 did, because it brought a lot of people back into that franchise and did well. Remember, the big issue that people didn't like with 4 is that they did what people got mad about with Metal Gear Solid 2 was that they did a switcheroo. People thought it was going to follow more along Dante, but guess what? No, it followed Nero's story, and then they brought Dante in later in the tail of the story for 4.
That's what
we're going completely left. This is about Capcom and how bad Capcom is.
And I'm saying that yes, this hurts, but I'm saying that the fact that everyone's talking about the games is that there's a little aspects to it that you got to take into it.
Okay, all right. So let's get.
So basically, all I was saying was they're gonna go through. Wow.
Make it quick. Hurry up. Yeah. Because we've only talking for about 40 minutes about game sales instead of what. So make your point, please.
Move on. Let's go. No. It's cool.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out. Like, I mean, it turned about Capcom whether they're gonna be all right, but then it turned into game sales, and then like. I mean, the data breach is is the thing that I'm talking about, not about their sales numbers, because if you go by their sales numbers, last gen they had their most successful game ever, so they're fine on that end. It's just the trust value when it comes to the data breach. Will they have security? Will people, they have debt? That's what I was trying to get to, not about what game was trash and what game was this. That's irrelevant. That's way irrelevant.
And that's where it should be, because the fact that when it comes to data breaches, a lot of people are going to complain about. And let's look at how Microsoft handled their during the 360 and early in the mid Xbox One era, as well as how Sony handled the big data hack way back in the PS3. How have they improved upon their security? Realistically, Sony hasn't done much to improve it because they've had multiple big hacks in the past decade since then. Microsoft has had some hacks, not just necessarily Xbox, but they have others, but they haven't been on the scale of what they did before because they've been working upon it. The information that got out from what happened with Capcom is very big information. And a lot of it is very big corporate information, which we wouldn't necessarily see. But the fact is, it's going to hurt them, not just in the consumer and the community's eyes, but also in the shareholders' eyes, because a lot of that is, like Sick and PK brought up, the business information that they don't want out there. Who paid for what deals? How much was being thrown around? What could potentially be in the works? And a lot of that information. That is secrets that you don't want out as a company. And that's what's going to hurt them in the biggest aspect of things. And how they're going to come back from that, or how they're going to get around that, especially when you look at investors and shareholders, is what's going to potentially hurt them monetarily wise for any further investments, loans, or anything else, and what projects will end up getting, which are going to end up suffering if there's a lack of faith in their security. That's where it all boils down to, and that's what it should be above all. It doesn't matter the sales numbers that got out. We, as consumers, we need to stop looking at sales and things like that, because then it turns into what we just did. And I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it. But the fact is, the information that got out is damning in many ways, and what they do next is going to help either if they're going to survive going forward or if they're not. That's where it all boils down to.
Nice point. Okay. All right. That's a great point, Bloody. All right, so let's get to the next topic. Michelle, I know that you're still trying to get your audio because you can't hear us. I'm over here communicating with you and doing this stuff at the same time, but I don't know if you probably got the volume turned down or whatever, but if you can hear me, because I just gave you a message, try to set your audio to the same as your headsets, and if that doesn't work, if you're on your laptop or your computer, try to set those audio settings to that for your communication, and probably that's what you'll have to where you can hear us. It's not that hard, but it just seems that hard, especially when you're just trying to come in and trying to do all types of stuff when you just want it to be easy. But I told you I could help you if you still can't get it by the time. But anyway, let's get to the second topic. All right, so Halo. There was information coming from 343 Industries, which was talking about Halo Infinite is not going to bring Battle Royale. Instead, that they're going to focus more on the Big Team Battle, and they're going to be calling it Big Team Battle 2.0. Of course, there's some people that was complaining because they were all there was all these rumors that was basically talking about, well, battle royale is should be a part of Halo, and they should take out Warzone and things like that, or whatever. I personally think that it's a really good move. I think battle royale is only good for certain games, not every shooter. I think that Call of Duty, they do it right. They probably do it the best next to Fortnite. PUBG is pretty much the king. I know that there's another game that I think that PUBG got its style from, but PUBG was kind of what made Battle Royale what it is. But that doesn't mean, because Halo have so many other modes, I think personally they just need to redefine and make those better. So I'm going to go to you on this one, Op. What do you think about this, man? Do you think that Battle Royale should be a thing, or do you think that 343 has made the right decision on that and kind of stick it to the modes that they have?
Well, for clarity, we have to remember that Clover, this information that he brought out to the public, so it's not 100% confirmed.
Right.
Is what he's been hearing behind the scenes at this point. So it could be true, it could be not, but as far as like Big Team Battle 2.0, I'm really interested in the idea of that. Actually got me excited for the game again at that point. But if they do decide to do Battle Royale, I won't be against it, because right now I want to see how it would play on Halo, because with how the universe is set up, it actually could work out for the benefit as well. It should be the most unique version of Battle Royale at this point, because as far as I can tell right now, it'll only be a space, like it'll only be like the only sci-fi on space opera Battle Royale that'll be in the scene currently at the moment right now. Because everyone we have right now are pretty much set in like Fortnite's the exception because it's a more cartoony, campy game at this point. But yeah, Battle Royale, aesthetically, it will set us up apart from the other ones right now. But there's also another aspect to this as well. I'm not sure why gamers, specifically some people in the Halo community, a little bit of other gamers as well, they have a real distaste for Battle Royale, which I understand is not necessarily done to death, but it's really in your face a lot this generation, well, previous generation right now. But it really doesn't make any sense to, I guess, have this sort of entitlement towards the game. Like if that mode is a part of the Halo experience, it'll somehow bring down the entire value of the game as well. Because at the end of the day, it's just an option. It's a mode you don't have to play it at that point. You can just really ignore it if you wanted to. But for them to take it further than that at that point, because like it's a really bizarre mentality for them to have in the first place. Because like they feel that if it's included in the game in any way, shape, or form, not only takes away resources from other modes at that point, but just like I guess it degrades the value of the game, which really makes no sense. Because at the end of the day, it's just an option you don't have to partake in. But I don't know, people are weird nowadays. But if they do or don't go Battle Royale, it'll be interesting to see. But I wouldn't be against them doing Battle Royale in Halo, because I know it'll set them apart from everybody else. Yeah, we just gotta wait and see what they do with it.
No, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I just feel that with all the modes, you got breakouts, you got all of this. Focus on, because Warzone was fantastic, but it was limited because of the the console itself and the technology. But you make Warzone bigger and better, like I don't know. That to me is what I'm saying. I mean, that to me is what I enjoy. And see, I guess this is my preference. I enjoy Warzone more than I enjoy Battle Royale shooters. But to each their own. I just think that Halo needs to redefine their stuff later. And if they decide that they want to do it later, I'm with that. But not right now. So I hope Killer Brill is right about that. So you got.
Oh yeah, definitely agree with you right now. Okay. Like they don't need it, but it'll be nice to see if they actually do implement it. Mm-hmm. But if the rumors are true about what they're doing with Forge right now, people can actually make their own modes themselves right now.
True.
But yeah, it's always a balance when you add new modes to your game right now, because you always got to worry about population control when you're different modes in the game. Because you do make one mode, it could take people away from others, then it can affect the performance of the other ones in mode. So there's always a balance to go into it. But that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Okay. Great point. All right. What about you on this, Bloody? How do you feel about this? Are you for the Battle Royale or not? Or just indifferent? Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. What about you, Dirt? What do you think?
Oh, sorry. Hang on. I didn't realize I was muted still.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Go ahead.
Well, I that was my bad. Here's the thing about it, right? So if they're able to do it and they do it right, I think that it could be very good. The thing about the Battle Royale phenomenon, right, is that each you have to do it different. When you're just absolutely just copying another, then there's no differentiation. And if it's one that's already successful and you're trying to do the exact same thing but just slightly different, it doesn't necessarily work. It's why it's not successful. You look at what Fortnite did; it completely did its own thing compared to what PUBG did. That's why Fortnite got so popular. Warzone went back to the, hey, let's make a realistic kind of aspect, but still have that not necessarily arcade, but the shooter that Call of Duty does compared to what's in PUBG. Warzone blew up. But you look at a lot of other battle royales, a lot of them died out. Some of them have communities, but none of them are as successful as those two. Look at what happened with Hi-Rez's attempt with what's it called? It's the one with the chickens. I can't remember what it was, but they had theirs, and that's the studio that did Smite, right?
Yeah.
Just look at like how Smite changed what it is to be a MOBA compared to a lot of other games. If you can do it differently, and Halo obviously helped kind of set a precedence for different style multiplayer modes. Just like you go back and look at what Unreal Tournament and what Quake and all them did for their multiplayer modes, how they set certain precedences. Quake is what kind of created the whole rocket jump that you see in a lot of like fast-paced arena shooters. Then you look at what Halo did for that. They can do something different with Battle Royale. And I think that there's potential there. Do they need to? No, because Ott brought up a good point. Right now, Battle Royale is basically being shoved in everything. It's really in your face. And I mentioned this last generation, the last generation of consoles, especially within like the past 4 years after the success of like PUBG, right? The Battle Royale this generation and still ongoing is what happened back in the 360 era with Horde modes. Everyone tried to hop on the trend of what Horde mode was.
You took what I was going to say. Yep.
Right after Gears of War 2 was the first game that really had a very cool Horde mode, and then everyone tried copying it and doing their own version. Some were well done and were able to continue on. Others just very obviously carbon copies, no improvements, no changes or anything, that didn't. Everyone wanted to hop on that trend. So everyone's like, hey, we have our own Horde mode. We have our own Horde mode. Everyone was trying to do that. Right now, it's the same thing with Battle Royales. Some will have success, some will not. Some need it, some don't. And honestly, I feel like, as you put it too, Halo doesn't need a Battle Royale. If they do one, could they do it well? Yes, they absolutely could. But right now, with what they're doing with Infinite, there's already a lot in there. I don't think they need to focus on a Battle Royale right now. Just like with Warzone was in development with another team, but it was separate from the rest of what was coming in Call of Duty Modern Warfare with the reboot and everything. If they do that, go for it. Let another team do it, put it out afterwards, but focus on what they have right now. They're already overhauling everything with the multiplayer, and you already know that they have a massive amount of people who work specifically on multiplayer modes and everything and that. And then you still have the teams who are working solely on the game and everything else. And then you have to work on all those resources. If you're going to outsource, do that. But if you're going to put a team together, wait till after everything else is finalized first before you look at putting a lot, because Battle Royales take constant updates. They need constant work. So you're going to have a massive team that needs to constantly be putting into this, rebalancing weapons, adding new changes, whether they're going to add weapons or anything. Because if a Battle Royale doesn't do anything different, doesn't make changes, or doesn't evolve, guess what? It stagnates and no one plays it anymore. That's why you look at games like Fortnite and what Warzone is doing, why they have to keep bringing in new weapons, why they keep changing the map, why they have to keep adding new stuff, because if not, everyone's going to drop off of it. And that is what they don't need to be wasting time on right now.
I totally agree. All right, Dirt, your time. Hold on, let me ask Michelle, can she hear us now? Can you hear us, Michelle?
All right, I unmuted her right now.
Are you there? I think she might still have the audio. Still don't have the audio thing.
I see her trying to talk, but yeah, I don't think she picked up.
I think she changed her. She probably can hear us now, but she probably changed the audio to her to where she could talk. So you might need to. You got to change that. I like I said, I'll help you with it after the show if you can't get it, but still keep trying, because if not, I still want you to come on tomorrow so we can have some discussions about some other stuff. So, but stay here. Just keep fiddling with it. It'll come, and I'll keep talking to you in the chat. Try to help you out. All right, Dirt. What do you think about this? Yeah, I know, man. I'm doing all this stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Hey. I actually agree with some of the things that Bloody said.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind it. I kind of like the battle royale genre. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't want that to take away focus from everything else. I know the campaign's pretty much done, but have another team do it, because I mean, like I mentioned, I am a fan. Excuse me. I am a fan of battle royale, so I would like to see a battle royale game in the Halo universe. I'm just being honest.
Okay.
Driving around on some warthogs and things like that. But I guess it's not so important though that I don't want it to be their focus. Don't put all of your focus on a battle royale mode. Like he said, just get another team to do it, or like get maybe 30, 40 people to do it. Add it in later. Like, it doesn't have to be in launch. Kind of how Warzone was. I believe Warzone came later, didn't it?
Yeah.
From COD last year. So, add it later when it's ready. Because this game is going to be one of those games that's going to have legs. It's not going to be a game that we're going to be done with in 2 months. It's going to be around for years. Kind of like Halo 5 is still around now.
Yes.
And it's going to be free to play. So I think, that's something we're going to have a lot more players on the game. So, I mean, I do want it, to be honest. The gamer in me does want it, but I don't think it's necessarily the thing we have to have right now. They shouldn't put all that focus in it. Well, and like, we still don't know what is it? Team Battle Royale. I'm sorry, Team Battle 2.0. Did they explain what that is? Because I know this is from Cloverfield.
Right, because there was Team Battle. Yeah, because Big Team Battle didn't come until after, way later, maybe a couple of years after, Warzone, because Warzone was around maybe a year or so within that year when Warzone dropped, and then people were asking, "Where's Battle Royale? Where's Big Team Battle?" And so, and they brought it back, but they brought it back well after, because of the scrutiny and everything like that. So there's still people that didn't know that there's Big Team Battle modes, and they use Forge maps and regular maps on it, because I was playing it just the other day, and because I'm trying to get to 152, and there was people that was asking the question, like, what is this? And I was like, this is Big Team Battle. Oh, they added it? I'm like, yeah, but it was just one of those things where they just took too long. So I don't know. You got any more points on this before I move on?
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's just I would like to see Battle Royale in a Halo universe, though. That'd be cool.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not debating it. I mean, I'm not the biggest Battle Royale fan. I do like the Call of Duty Battle Royale in Fortnite.
Yeah,
those are the only two I really kind of can get into. But I mean, it's I'd rather just play regular old school. That's just my preference. But okay, all right. What about you, Slayer? What about you, brother? What do you think, man? Do you think that this is?
Man, so
I mean, and I know that this, I kind of made it out to be confirmed. I kind of trust what Killer Brill brings. He's not been.
I do too. I bet you he's right
on everything. He's been. I would say he got a 90% to 10% ratio on being 10% ratio being wrong. But yeah, I kind of trust what he brings out. So what do you think, man?
Yeah. So check me out. So first off, I gotta shout out Oppo, and then gotta shout out Bloody, and then of course our girls Dirt Griggity, in that order, because all three of y'all have mentioned the majority of the points I want to bring up, but to Op especially, how there's a group of people, and you see it particularly in the Halo community, especially, it's like the textbook example of it, but not only with Halo, where there's this group of people from, like, I guess you would say the old school, the earlier days, you would say like the first trilogy of games, right? Where they want every game that comes out to be like those games. You can't have nothing new. You can't have running. You can't have this. You can't have that. new modes come out. The genre of FPS is evolving to have new modes and ideas. Nope, you can't do that. Everybody's scared. And even not to knock with Dirt and Bloody were the first two to say this part was like to throw another team on it, but when you think about it, of course you're gonna put a different team on it, But I think that comes from the reason I bring that up is that comes from the fear of that it's going to take away from what you already know or expect or hope to be in the game and to work at to a certain degree, the elements that you're comfortable with, and you don't want to lose from that to put in some new mode that might seem like they're just chasing the clout or whatever. That's just the mode du jour to add. But like Bloody said though, remember what happened with Horde mode. Everybody and their mama wanted to copy it. Not everybody did well, but Halo did. What they do, they created Firefight. It fit within the mold of Halo, within the universe and the pieces already in that puzzle, right? And we have that same situation happening now with Halo Infinite. Don't forget the game takes place on the ring. Don't forget that this is supposed to be like a whole thing that you travel through in sections all over the ring. So, Battle Royale, Halo style, in the ring, it's just like...
it could work.
Of course it's gonna... It's obvious it's gonna happen. It's obvious it's gonna happen. So all these people that are worried about Battle Royale and they're just thinking about it the way it is, the fact that they're calling this Big Team Battle 2.0, in their minds, that's the code name they have for it, I bet. And they don't have an official name for it like they did with Warzone was that Mitch? I think her mic was finally working. Oh, guess not.
Mitch,
oh.
Hey, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent.
I can talk.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. All right. Good to have you on for the first time on GRG, man. And hopefully this definitely won't be the last time. But go ahead right fast. Ladies need to introduce themselves for people out there. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and let people know where they can find you at.
I am Michy Dies a Lot. I am only currently on Xbox as Michy1971 and Twitter as @Michy1971, which I should change to Michy Dies a Lot apparently.
Right, yeah, because I was like, what?
And the Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
Excellent. All right, cool. All right, so I don't know if you if you wanted to get into this topic, that's great. But I was over here. I had to interrupt Slayer. You know what I'm saying? When a lady comes in, we gotta. I got to be the charming one, of course. Anyway, all the rest of these bumps, they don't know what to do. Anyway, so all right, Slayer, go ahead and finish up, bump. Slayer, you there? Did you get quiet on me?
I'm muted. Oh, my bad.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was you.
Was you cussing me? Was you cussing me, man?
Yes, and I'm gonna do it again because it was you who stopped speaking. Because you heard the woman speaking. Give her chance finally to speak. But take the credit. It's okay. But whatever. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, about Halo. So yeah, like the mode is coming. I don't know what they're gonna call it. I don't think they have a name for it, or at least from the point of view of the rumor that Calibri had heard, or the people he talked to at the time, they calling it Big Team Battle 2.0. I bet you it's this mode. It's their version of Battle Royale on the ring.
That's a bold theory. That's a bold theory.
I mean, it's basically that's what you do in the single player already, right?
No, you come back, you respawn. In Battle Royale, you don't unless you've got like a mode like Plunder. Big Team Battle, it's its own entity though on Halo.
No, but I mean the way the single player is supposed to be working in Halo Infinite, like you're on the ring, you have objectives and things to do. You have basically the whole ring, right? So why don't you take the concept of Battle Royale and put it on the ring with lots of players? I mean, it's already all there. The environment's already all there because of the single player. I don't see how this isn't happening. From everything I'm hearing, in my mind, it just seems like it's an obvious thing. And that's the point I'm bringing up. I think this is really happening.
Okay. I'm not debating it. I think it should just come later, in my opinion. I don't know.
Oh yeah. If it's gonna hold back anything else, of course.
Yeah,
but I think they're having a whole different group, just like they did with Warzone, right? It came out later.
Yeah.
And so I think the same thing is going to happen again. I think, yeah, definitely.
There's definitely a possibility for that. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to be something that launches.
Oh, and one more thing I want to say. Don't forget, isn't the multiplayer supposed to be free and a separate download completely, where you don't even have to purchase the base game to even have access to this multiplayer?
Yes.
So,
I think they kind of learned.
Right.
I think they kind of learned from what they worked on with the Master Chief Collection, right? About segmenting campaign and then the multiplayer different. Yeah, you had to buy it at first, but now it's more, especially with Game Pass is free, but stuff like that. But I think that a couple companies now are more looking at, hey, segmenting multiplayer separately from campaign, and if they're together, allowing you to choose what to download and what not to download.
Yep. History shows the path.
All right. Okay. Good point. All right, PK. What do you think about this, man? Would you want Battle Royale to be in Halo?
Hell no.
Okay.
Big Team Battle Big Team Battle has been a staple in Halo forever, so it's not that's something they should definitely focus on if they're gonna do that. I mean, the only other thing would be if there was another mode. The other modes that I think would be enjoyable would be like a hero shooter type of thing, kind of like how some people say that Black Ops 4 did, like Rogue Company Overwatch, or something in nature where each player feels different and play different, which creates a whole different vibe and how the interactions are. So it's not just everybody doing the same thing. That kind of mode I think would be welcome. But as far as that game type, I'm not a fan of it, so I can care less about it. Honestly, it's niche. It's for those people who want to feel like they're good at something, for surviving and not really
you are
fighting.
Brutal.
That's kind of harsh.
That is brutal.
He's been Mr. Angry Face all night.
Wow.
Grumpy face.
Golly, hold on. See, I haven't used any type of noises or anything, but on this one,
betrayal.
Man.
Too bad we can't hear it.
You can't hear it, but man, I had to hit you with the Master Chief betrayal. But okay, go ahead, finish, PK. No, I love your honesty. I love your honesty. Go ahead.
Halo is excellent the way it is. It doesn't need to augment after too many others. Anything, it just needs to be modernized. I want them to focus on modernize it to get it up to what 2021 shooters should be for Halo. In my opinion, it should be the best because it showed what the best look like. And now you have all these other shooters out right now. The last thing you want to do is try to be another, Fortnite or whatever. You want to be the best at what you're good at. So tactical shooter's your thing, so do that. You know what I mean? You could do hero shooter too. You did it in 4. You could do it again, but do it better, right? So it's not like, I would say focus on what you have done and do it the best. Forget trying to be like everyone else. You be a trendsetter instead of a trend follower. And that's how I feel about it. Forget the battle royale garbage. That is straight trash. Just because people can survive to the end don't make them good. And I don't see how people feel good about doing that anyway. That's a false sense of security. You see Gears doing any battle royale? No. They do got a hero shooter mode. They do have all the other modes.
Oh yeah, they finally made an arcade shooter.
Yes.
Like a full-on arcade shooter aspect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Both competitive for fun and for competitive multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and read this from Sir X Man. What's up with you, brother? He says I want Big Team Battle to be more than just Slayer. I'm old school. I want it to be Oddball or King of the Hill or Capture the Flag. Go back to the roots. Well, they have all that in Halo 5. Like I said, people just haven't. If you haven't played Halo 5, all of that's there. Oddball,
that's what I'm
King
saying.
of the Hill, all of that is there. All those modes are there. There's so many modes in there.
Yeah, the only thing I would like to say is go back to Halo 3 and add those modes that were missing. Like, you remember how in Halo 3 you could go back and rewind the entire match, and then you can kind of do a free camera around the entire board and see what other people were doing during the whole entire match. Or remember there was during people would create, remember to create where you can create maps where it was like a fun house you can run through, and people could run through and test the traps and see if they can make it through the end without dying, that kind of stuff. Halo always had, yeah, 4 had a lot of stuff too. I'm just saying in general.
Well, I'm saying that the way that they built their Forge mode, especially later on after 3 and 4, was doing a lot of what you saw that was being done in like Source Forge, but specifically
different now because of the slip space engine. They have people now will have full customization, unlike they've ever had before. With now because so Forge is going to be huge. Everything with so people could make like what said, they can make a battle royale through Forge.
No, I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying that he was talking about that they can do this in aspects. I was saying that with what he was talking about, how people were able to make all those kinds of aspects. I was like, well, think about it. I was like, that they were one of the first ones to do that for a console. But remember, you of all people should know that that's been done on PC for a while, thanks to what Source Forge mod is able to do. Because look at how they use the CS:GO engine, and then later the Gary's mod engine, which is modified from the CS:GO engine and everything like that. How people built all those from like the death runs that you saw that were really popular, what created the whole prop hunt mode and things that you saw from CS:GO and other things that have been popularized and used in other games. They were able to do something like that, but they were just the first to do it on console. But that was already something that was being done a lot for a while on PC.
Yeah,
well, again, I'm just pointing out that whatever Halo did well over the years, take that and put it into this game, but improve on it. You don't have to do anything else. You could just take what you already done that worked and just do it better. That's it.
Yeah.
So and then go backwards and forwards all at the same time.
And modernize it so that you want it to feel like a modernized shooter, right? You want it to feel like you're playing today's Halo and not yesterday's Halo.
Right. Well,
that's it.
But see, that's the thing, is that there's people that want that. But anyway, let me read this, and then I'm going to ask Michy if she wants to have something that she want to say about that. Sir X-Man in the chat saying, KMEGA, my friend, but you never played those modes. I love to jump in. That's the truth. I do play those modes. Yeah, I put if I'm into the when I play those the one mode Fiesta, I don't pick that. It's whatever that it is, and then when I also pick the big team mode, I don't separate it, and it just if it's going to be oddball, then it'll be oddball. If there's another one too, there's another weird mode that has to do something with the skull. Griffball. That I'll play that too. It's just that you just haven't seen me play it. I mean, if it's in that mode, it's in that mode. So I mean, if you can,
Griffball's fun.
So anyway. All right, so Michy, what do you think? If you got anything that you want to say about this, do you think the Battle Royale should be included into Halo Infinite?
I guess I just don't see Halo as being a Battle Royale game.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played Halo multiplayer since OG Xbox, so it's been a really long time. But I just don't see it as Battle Royale. I just don't see it that way. It doesn't strike me as that's where home is for it.
I agree.
That's all.
I agree with you. I just think that Battle Royale shouldn't have to be in every shooter. I'm 100% with you on that. If they do it, that's fine. It's not. I'll play the mode if we got enough people to jump on it just to play it. But for me to be by myself and play that mode exclusively, nah, it ain't happening.
I'm gonna throw something else out there to just kind of add on because the way she brings it up is I totally agree with where she's saying is that it doesn't seem like it fits within that the feel of Halo. However, do what they did with Warzone. Make it make sense within the lore. Look at what's it, the the what was it, the Spartan episodes back in 4, and the fact that they introduced the Spartan War games, make it seem like that's training, make it all simulations like they were running, because that's within the lore. Even look at how they did it with what was it, Spartan Ops or whatever, the twin stick shooters that were on PC that later came to Xbox. I was like, make it make sense within the lore on why that is. And if they're not going to do actual aspects, make it say that, hey, these are training simulations on different environments within the ring. Like, you can do more with it instead of just throwing it in just to throw it in. Make it make sense. Like, Warzone has this whole story evolving out around each season of an update for Warzone. That's why the map keeps changing, why there's new things that's still tying to the overall story from where the game left off, and then whatever they do with the eventual sequel of it, right? They built a narrative out of it, just kind of like what Fortnite ended up doing. They had this whole thing that's been playing out with all their seasons and then the new chapter and whatever. They made it into something bigger. If they're gonna put that in there, make it make sense on why it exists, not just to shoehorn it in. I want to add that in.
Okay. All right. So, Op, are you still there before you leave, or you had to bounce? I think he's already bounced.
I think he bounced. Yeah.
Yeah. He hit me up and told me that he had to bounce. All right. So, okay. All right. Let's get to the other topic. Okay, because we do have 2 more. Lord have mercy. You know what? I always say, well, let me just start off with the bigger topic, and then
it's always this. You always say, let's start off with a small topic, and it's always a small topic that would turn into a big topic.
Yeah, every time I gotta do better.
KMEGA Super Cats.
It's not your fault. No, it's literally.
I've already read them.
Oh, you read them? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, all right, so okay. All right, so this one right here is going to be. We'll do the other one last. I want to get into the Indiana Jones. I'll do the Star Wars later. After this one. Okay, so Indiana Jones, basically. It came out. We've seen it. We don't know enough about it, of course, but we know that it's going to be made from one of the ZeniMax studios. I believe it was what is it? Machine Games.
Machine
Games. And now, from what everybody knows, unless you live under a rock, Microsoft has purchased ZeniMax, which that's one of the studios that's under the ZeniMax umbrella. Now, of course, that's not finalized yet, but it will be here in the coming weeks. So, with that being said, a lot of people are speculating, should this game be exclusive? Now, I'm going to give my thoughts probably in here, because this is going to be one of those things that turns into like everybody's going to kind of jump in. You know, I'll start off with dirt on this one, but I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have an opinion. So, what do you think, Dirt? Like, should this game be an exclusive? And if you do think an exclusive, give me an explanation why. And if not, then give me an explanation why it shouldn't. Go ahead, man.
Well, this one is a little tricky. Now, okay. I'm under now, when it comes to Bethesda, I feel their games should be exclusive. Maybe with the exception of some MMOs or, like Fallout 76 or like games that's already multi-plats. I feel that those games should be exclusive. There's exceptions to everything, though. And I just feel... Now, first let me say this. I hope it's exclusive. As an Xbox fan, that would be dope. I hope it's exclusive, but just my opinion, I think because it's a game that's owned by, it's a franchise that's owned by is it Lucasfilms now?
Yeah.
Lucasfilms.
Yeah. Lucasfilms. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they own the IP. Part of me thinks it's not going to be, that game specifically is not going to be exclusive to Xbox. Hopefully it will be exclusive to Game Pass on day one, but I just feel because it's such a big IP and it's not owned by Microsoft or Sony. Now, I know you say, well, Spider-Man, the game rights wasn't owned by Sony, but yeah, the movie rights was, and they probably made some type of deal. Unless Xbox can make some type of deal with Lucasfilms, I don't see the game being exclusive. But as I mentioned, I hope it is exclusive. I really do hope it's exclusive as a diehard Xbox fan. That would be a great game for our catalog. So.
Okay, all right. So that was
That's
just
about
quick to
it.
the point on that one. All right, okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. What about you, Michy? What do you think? Do you think that Indiana Jones should be exclusive? And if you do, explain. If not, then why it shouldn't be exclusive?
I think it should be.
Okay.
Because it's okay. So if they knew about this as they were making this deal to buy ZeniMax, then Microsoft was at that table with Disney and
that's a great
ZeniMax.
point. That's a great point. Okay. Okay.
And if Disney knew
Mm-hmm.
that Microsoft was buying ZeniMax, then they knew it could possibly be exclusive and not going to PlayStation or the Switch.
That's
so maybe Disney wants to be essentially in bed with Microsoft.
You know what?
And
I didn't even
Sony.
think of it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you know, the industry knows what's going on. Like the Rumble, you know, I understand that. Like we don't know. Yeah, we're the last to know. But you know that Disney knew that EA and everybody else knew what was going on, except for maybe Nintendo and Sony. They probably didn't know what was going on. But everybody else in the business that be sending out their games, I don't know. That's a great point. I haven't even thought about that. Okay. All right. So you're with the okay, keep it exclusive. All right. What about you, PK? What do you think?
So when it was announced, the Xbox Twitter feed just said, "Man, that needs to be on Xbox." I don't know, kind of cryptic, but almost as if it's foreshadowing something.
They said this belongs on an Xbox. They
Yeah, it said
indie reference.
it belongs on the Xbox. It's kind of cryptic the way they said it, but it's pretty dope that it's alluding to something coming down the pipe. So could be an Xbox exclusive and more or less maybe at least a timed exclusive at the very least. And definitely go to Game Pass on day one. But everything remains to be seen. The deal is not closed yet, so who knows if that deal was already in the works prior to the agreed to be purchased. And if that's the case, then all contracts will be honored, whatever that looks like.
And why Machine Games?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like that is a
They're
good
used
question.
to fighting Nazis.
Exactly. I didn't want to have to say it, but there you go.
That is true. That is true. I mean, they are used to fight Nazis.
Definitely true.
That is definitely true. I didn't even think about it because I was kind of like, you know what? I don't know. That is a kind of.
They know how to kill Nazis real good.
They do.
And that's the question too. That's another question I want to ask too. But I want to ask that after I get everybody's thoughts on if it should be exclusive or should not. So, all right, I'm gonna go to you on this one, Bloody. What do you think?
Said, yes, honestly, yes, they should. And Michy brought up something that I've been telling a lot of people about is the fact of Disney, Lucasfilms is owned and is a subsidiary of Disney. The thing is, they would have, before this announcement came out, if this was made months ago, I would say that more than likely this would have been multi-plat. Now that they're announcing it, especially at the start of 2021, more than 4 months after the very public announcement of Xbox basically solidifying their deal to acquire Bethesda, while it's not finalized, the deal and intent and everything else is already there, and all parties are already agreed. It's just waiting to finalize the actual contract itself for the finalization of the sale. They would have known about that deal well ahead of time, like Mitch's mentioned, is that it wouldn't have been Microsoft at that table. No, it would have been Disney at that table with Bethesda, with Microsoft already there with them. Because of the fact that, remember, when Marvel Entertainment originally was looking around for developers to make a game, right? They approached Insomniac. And then that was when Sony swept in and jumped in on the conversation and said, well, hey, what if we help to fund the development? Could we get exclusivity? The thing is, for this one, they would have been looking at publishers and developers already ahead of time and would have known the information of anything that was going on, because that kind of information has to be disclosed. Because right now, while they may be they're a licensor, they're not a publisher anymore. It's not like it was back during the PS2 and original Xbox era, where Lucasfilms had LucasArts, which was a publication house. They don't have that. Mm-hmm. They would need a publisher. So the fact is, if they were going to talk to Machine Gun Games, that means they would have to talk to Bethesda. At that point, it was very public knowledge that Bethesda is already in terms of working directly with Xbox. So that means that Xbox would have been at that table when they were making that information. It's not how it was with Tokyo Ghostwire and Deathloop, which was announced last year and confirmed over a year ago that those were going to be exclusives. But we weren't sure for the time frame and where until a couple months after that announcement was made. But that was already public knowledge that those were going to be deal, and those were showcased specifically with PlayStations for a long while.
Well, let me ask this question too. That there's somebody in the chat asked this, and this is for everybody, so y'all can just say it, not just Bloody. But this person asked, why would Disney be at the table? I think that's what he meant to say, is table. You got to remember, Disney paid in to make that game. I don't think Disney had to pay anything to make that game.
No, they don't, because the fact that here's the thing, they don't pay. Yeah, they're licensed. Here's the thing about what people fail to understand.
They're getting paid.
With the way that they are getting paid.
Exactly.
They're saying the way that it works is that this is a licensing agreement. They're saying, hey, we'll provide you the license for this game, but we want a share of the profits. They're not putting any money in, because the fact that the money that they're putting in is the license for the actual property that they're providing. You got to realize, when it comes to licensing for anything movie-wise or any copyrighted material that is a high-stakes intellectual property, such as if you were to make a Star Wars game, as we see with Indiana Jones, Marvel, or any other thing, even like Alien vs. Predator, that is the money that the company's putting up, because they are giving you the license for a cut of the profit without having to put money in, because of the fact that it is privately owned. It's different when it's public domain, which is why we see every company out there making games that are Lovecraftian, which is anything that's based around Cthulhu and everything that H.P. Lovecraft made, because that's public domain. No one owns the IP or properties for anything other than that, unless they have a specific property that they are able to copyright, such as like the Call of Cthulhu games, which are owned by a certain company, like we see from what's it, Frogsoft or Frog Square, something like that. They're the ones who also made all the Sherlock Holmes games, right? And they have their own franchise within those that they own, but they're separate from any other Sherlock Holmes games that get made by other companies, because Sherlock Holmes itself is public domain, even though that part of it is still owned by some of Arthur Conan Doyle's estate and everything like that. That's the thing that you have to understand when it comes to licensing agreements and anything for big titles like this. So Lucasfilms is putting up the rights to create an Indiana Jones games as their money in, but they're going to get a profit share. That's without a doubt. But it may not be as big as the fact of if they were to have put money in equal to what Microsoft and them are putting in.
Right.
But they're getting free money without having to put anything in. That's the biggest thing.
There's people that want to get involved into
it. That's where it comes down to.
So you want it to be exclusive, right?
Yes, and that's the thing, is that it's going to be exclusive, because they would know about that, because this has been very public information that Bethesda is joining Microsoft Studios and being a part of the Xbox ecosystem as one of their first-party developers and publishers.
Right.
So they would already know that anything that they do, they would have to sign an agreement on. And that means that more than likely it's going to be exclusive, or they'll do, even if they want to, because guess what? They're all in the business of making money. It's a potential that, guess what? They'll put it free in Game Pass, and they'll make it timed exclusive. But guess what? They'll release it on other platforms later on, but still be able to make more money. But guess what? That's still going into Xbox's pocket, and it's going into Disney. But the biggest thing is, more than likely, it's going to be directly in their ecosystem and solely their ecosystem.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, can I say something right quick? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Can I say something? It's like something I forgot to mention. I know you guys noticed that, Xbox executives, they actually tweeted about it. They responded to the announcement. No PlayStation, no executives on the PlayStation side said anything about it.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I didn't even.
I did notice that.
Yeah, no, that's it. Nobody else said anything except for Microsoft. That's the only one. So obviously something is because PlayStation there's people that listen that's out there that's from PlayStation staff that knows that like the gaming media and everybody else they just want to stick it to Microsoft any way possible, and Sony wants to kind of throw that bone like, nope, they don't got that exclusive. We got that coming over here on the PlayStation 5. So that is a great point. All right, okay, Slayer, what about you, brother? What do you think?
God damn, it's basically left to me to sum up what everybody said because everybody's hitting all the points. But
you'll be first on the next topic.
Oh no! Because this was pretty much the topic that I would have said what I would have said on what everybody else has said and kill a topic. Then but everybody has basically said all the points. The writing is on the wall. It's gonna be exclusive. It's staying exclusive. Think about it, folks. Nobody but Microsoft execs are talking about it. Nobody from Sony. This is the same Disney that let Sony, who only had movie rights, not game rights to Spider-Man, get the game rights to make this game, but they wouldn't do the same for Microsoft and Indiana Jones, which they also own. Like, the only reason this isn't even a debate is because, to be frank, it's these PlayStation fanboys and a lot of the gaming press who seems to be not so objective, right? They definitely have a bias for one for the other, right? Definitely towards the Sony cap. I'm just gonna say it flat out. And it's them who's talking all this, because anybody who plays Xbox knows this ain't going nowhere but on Xbox, xCloud, Game Pass, and PC. That's it. If you're not on PC or Xbox of these Microsoft platforms, you're not getting this game. It's that simple. I don't know why this is even a debate from anyone. You see the writings all over the wall for the reasons that everyone has said. It's that simple.
I mean, is anyone going to complain that we don't get an Insomniac game anymore since before that they were previously, independent and now that they're owned?
But that's a whole other animal itself. It's a whole different animal though. It's a whole different animal because of how it's brought up on social media. Like, it's just so everything every PlayStation has exclusives already. So, and they say the Xbox has no exclusives. So it's like
But as soon as they get one, everyone wants to complain.
Right,
that's the thing.
That was going to be my second point on that, and that was just going to be an open discussion.
Now they have more than
anything. So now this is a game that's potentially look like it's going to be an exclusive, potentially, right? Because it could there could be a deal with Disney that said, look, just keep it on Game Pass and just let it go everywhere else. But for the most part, a lot of people think that it's going to be exclusive. And now you got people that's also saying, well, I would like to have that on PlayStation. And now you got people that's even in here in the chat that's saying this. Is saying, now that is just trying to downplay it, right? Indiana Jones is really not a big name no more. They tried to reboot it back in 2005 and it bombed. So why would I take all the risk on Indiana Jones? You see how this is always played out. It's always an excuse for something. If Indiana Jones was exclusive on PlayStation, what I'm gonna ask somebody else this. I'm gonna ask somebody else this.
You don't have to ask anything. Look at the thing is, Pete. It's the vocal and fickle fans who only care about certain aspects that are gonna say anything. Look at how they treated Yoko Taro and his studio with what he did in partnership with Platinum Games and Square Enix when they released Nier Automata. When it was exclusive to PS4, everyone over there, the vocal extremists, were the ones who were hyping that game all about it, say, oh, y'all don't get to play this. And then what happened when almost a year or 2 years later, he said, hey, guys, look, there was a reason I wasn't able to put it out when I wanted to. He's like, but I wanted to make sure that everyone gets a chance to play it. It's coming to Xbox. Square Enix said, yeah, we're confirming that.
Well,
and then they brought it over.
What was the first thing? But see, that was the thing. Nobody wasn't saying about the first Nier Automata was on.
No one said anything about the first. No one said anything about the first Nier.
Yeah.
They only said Nier Automata because it was so great. But the thing is, Nier Automata had to completely overhaul everything that they did with the original. And then as soon as it went over to a different platform, suddenly the developers are trash and not good. We saw the same thing happen when it was first announced that Bethesda was going to be purchased and owned and first party with Xbox. Everyone said, "Oh yeah, I can't wait for the next Skyrim. Can't wait to play Starfield." And then as soon as everything got announced, it's like, "Oh well, I'm glad that we're not getting those trash ass Bethesda games anyways. Keep it." Okay, suddenly they're not good anymore. Yet y'all were hyping it all up nonstop before, and y'all were all excited for it before. What's the difference now?
Yeah.
The thing is, just like the crazy vocal fans over there say, hey, you want to play God of War? You want to play The Last of Us, whatever, right? You want to play Spider-Man? Get a PlayStation. Well, guess what? We're going to say the same thing. You want to play Indiana Jones or anything else that's coming directly from Bethesda Studios? Play it. Get an Xbox. Get a PC. It's in Game Pass. You can get it for
Keep
$5.
the same energy.
Yeah,
just
the same energy.
go get the console. You can't afford it? That's fine. Guess what? They have other avenues. Get Game Pass. $10, $15. There you go. Play it on.
If you got decent credits, you can go ahead and you can lease it. You know,
well, they don't even gotta do that. Look at the fact that they have Game Pass on mobile. Guess what? You can stream that on your phone. All you gotta do is go buy a controller and $15. Get a month. Yeah. Get a month, get 3 months. There you go. You don't have to get an Xbox if you don't want an Xbox. But guess what? You can play anything on PC. You can stream it to your phone. Go do that. Yeah. But guess what? Keep the same. If you're gonna say it one, keep it for the both. All right. Same as if you want to play anything Zelda related, Mario or anything else like that. Hell, if you want to play Bayonetta, guess what? Go get a Switch. That's the only way you're gonna play Bayonetta nowadays. I was like, do I want Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 3? Yes, I do. But guess what? I ain't got the money for a Switch right now, but I would because I want to play those games. It's the same as anything else. If you want to play those exclusives, put up for the exclusives. If not, shut the hell up.
Yeah. So, okay, what about
exactly what they used to tell us?
Go to Burger King, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much it. That's it. So
they want to talk big, but they balling on a budget. That's all it is.
So, did I go to you on this one, PK, already or not?
I believe so.
Okay, all right. I think I did. I don't know. Bloody just took it over. So I was like, that's why I tried to make it an open discussion. And I'm like, y'all better start talking because Bloody gonna take over if y'all don't. So, all right. So my last point on this before we move to the next one is what's going on, Sleepy Goblin. Is okay with the whole situation with this. With Indiana Jones and all these other games that's going to be slated to come to Xbox and be exclusive on Xbox, will these, Everwild, Fable, of course, Forza, Halo, and Hellblade 2, and so many other games out there. We got The Medium, we got Scorn, we got all these other games that's going to be coming exclusive to Xbox. Will this finally kill the narrative that Xbox has have no exclusives?
Nope. You know why?
Nope.
Explain, please.
Because they don't have any AAA bangers. That's what I just heard 2 hours of Crossfire for.
Oh my God! But that's the problem though. If Indiana Jones is going to be an exclusive to Xbox, it will be a AAA exclusive. So how is that?
Absolutely, it will.
It says that it's going to be a AAA game. And Disney is not going to come out and throw garbage. If you're going to get the rights to get to a Disney title, they're not going to sell it short because not only they're trying to promote their movies, they want their games to be up to par too because of the success of Spider-Man. That changed the whole dynamic of them wanting to go and say, look, we want to find the right studios to go ahead and do this. So how is it that Xbox ain't going to have no AAA bangers if that's going to be a AAA banger?
Let me put it this way. Hang on. Let me put it this way. Right?
No. Let somebody else talk, please. Chill. Come on, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the only reason why I think that it's exclusive because if it wasn't exclusive, we would have heard already. Because you notice even with PlayStation, they try their hardest to hide if a game is just time exclusive or it's coming to PC from day one. Like they did with that reveal when we finally saw the system and the price at the very end and the whole and that whole debacle. If you noticed, immediately after and even during that whole presentation, Twitter was aflame with not only the news that was being presented and all of that, but also, is this game really exclusive or is it time exclusive? Is it really coming to PC and all of that? There's none of this debate now with none of this because you didn't see no logos from anybody but, the folks making the game, Microsoft, and then who's speaking on Twitter? Microsoft executives and executives, from the companies involved in this. No one from Sony, Nintendo, nothing else. When I say the writing is on the wall, there isn't a single aspect of this that doesn't say this game, at very least, is exclusive, lock, stock, and barrel. I don't see how this is even a debate.
Okay, all right.
Hey,
go ahead, Dirk.
No, I just wanted to talk about what you just the question you just asked about the exclusivity.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Xbox has games or they don't have exclusives.
Right.
Now, KMEGA, I said that I've been listening to you for a long time. So you know how this community works.
Yes.
And something will change. Now, I've actually heard some people, one or two people say Fable and Perfect Dark, they didn't need those. They need new IP. So that was that's an L. I mean, I've heard somebody say that. They need new IP instead of old IP brought back.
Hang on. Then what the hell is Ratchet and Clank? That's an old ass IP. That's 2 decades old.
Of course.
The same.
Of course.
Time.
I remember talking to a guy that said, well, what about God of War? That's an old IP, but they rebooted it, and it was great. Yeah. So I say, what if they reboot Perfect Dark or they reboot Fable, which they're doing, obviously.
Right.
Well, no. So no matter what happens, we know for a fact, an absolute fact, that Xbox has more next generation games announced. Flat out, they have more next generation games announced. But yet and still, we still have guys saying Xbox has no games. They have nothing. And I don't know if that narrative will ever change. It seems like every time Xbox does something, Xbox needs more studios. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Xbox needs more studios.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They bought more studios. Now what they're saying, well, Xbox need more AAA bangers now. Xbox. So no matter what, the narrative will change, man. And that's just how it is.
And you know
I'm
what,
glad
Dirt?
that you see this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know what, Dirt? You know what that means then? We should thank the haters because they're the ones who keep pointing out all these things. Oh, don't have games, you don't have publishers, you don't have this, you don't have that. All the things they said that Xbox didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Xbox has all of them.
No, I wouldn't give credit to the haters. I wouldn't give credit. No.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know, but that's part of his fuel.
And that's why people crapping them say, "Oh, y'all should be thanking me because I did all this."
Literally, I'm being sarcastic. But if you notice, all the criticisms, the honest criticisms, just in general, you look at the Xbox dashboard, you look at everything about Xbox, from everything from the controller to games to how it works, they actually listen to us, the gamers, and implement what we asked of them eventually. When you look at the dashboard in the early points when they had that whole thing, and they still do that whole forum on where you could vote on the features you want to see implemented first. And the ones with the highest votes got implemented first. It's there in everything they do. So when they're saying all these negative things, let them say whatever, because whatever thing you see is wrong, don't worry. They've got the money, the time, and now the motivation to fix them. So whatever. Let them take credit if they want to.
All right. Let me give a big shout out to Hanosis, man. Thank you so much. He says, great discussion, everyone. Hope all's going well. Yes, everything's going well. The discussion is really good. It's hot. Michelle, I was going to say Michelle. Michy, do you have anything that you wanted to say about that?
I get tired of hearing about the Xbox has no games thing. I work with a lot of PlayStation people, and they all call it Suxbox. I'm like, oh, I just hate you guys. And I think they got a lot coming out, and there's a lot I want to play. It's just that it just has to come out. That's all. And maybe this whole ZeniMax and Bethesda thing, that'll be great for incoming games. But until then, it's still going to be the same narrative, I think.
Well, I think the narrative, I think what Dirt is saying and what I agree with him 100% and what's Slick, I think what everybody on the panel pretty much is
Yeah. Nobody's disagreeing.
They're not going to change it. It doesn't matter because this is what, and I said this in a video this week talking about this, is that of course, we haven't seen the game yet. But when that game comes out, and let's say that game is dope as hell. Let's just say that game is got the same type of attention like Doom Eternal, right? Just really good, fun, entertaining game. But the Metacritic score is at 85. That's what they'll dwell on. It doesn't matter. It will not matter. It doesn't matter because the only thing, I think the only time when you'll have somebody shut up is when you get that one game that does better than any other PlayStation game that's came out since the PlayStation 4. If you got a game that, well, that's what I'm saying. But the gaming,
if they say Metacritic doesn't matter, then
then they'll say Metacritic doesn't matter, right? And then,
they'll just move they'll say it don't matter, and they're like, "What's the sales at? What's the sales, huh?"
Right, and that's the sales. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many factors that there's so many unbelievable, crazy factors when you look at, because and the reason why they don't say Forza and the reason why they don't say Halo and the reason why they don't say Gears, because those are Xbox's most dominant titles, and they know Halo is going to do gangbusters, but they're going to tie it in it. And let's say that it gets a 90 Metacritic, right? Let's just say that it's just let's say it's the best Halo that's ever been made, right? They give it a 92 Metacritic score, or you know what I'm saying, and it's the best Halo ever made, story, all that, right? The one thing that they'll say is that because Microsoft don't talk about sales, well, how did it do? It didn't do better than this. It didn't do better than that. It's didn't do blah blah blah. It's gonna be something silly, and what's the sad thing is that there's gonna be Xbox gamers that's gonna fall for that shit every time, bro. It's gonna every time. Like, why would you get mad? It's when somebody says nanny boo boo every goddamn time. You sit here and you look at it and you like, bro, I've heard it already. I'm not even mad about it no more. Like, I'm doing me. So I hope that when these games do come out, don't expect them to change, because they won't. And
they never do, bro.
They never do. They always got something to say. So anyway,
I just point and laugh now because there's just so many things happening that they can't even do the same narrative anymore without instantly just being corrected. And they'll just move on. So it's just like, who cares? Move on. Who cares?
Yeah, the last point before I move on is going to say this, is that if you look at this in 2020, Xbox had probably one of their better Metacritic score ratings than they've had in the whole Xbox One era. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was really good. They had really good scored games.
Easily.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, from Ori being being the highest, then it goes to.
I think it's still Horizon, Forza Horizon, but I think that is like a point higher than Ori, and I think that was with the first one.
Forza Horizon is higher, but I'm saying 2020 overall for all the games.
Oh yeah,
For
2020,
they were the highest rating Metacritic, and we didn't hear anything about. If you notice, we didn't hear too much about Metacritic scores until they showed like a 60 or something for a game out of nowhere, and then they threw it out. But they didn't talk about Wasteland. They didn't talk about any of these other games. It started turning into the Digital Foundry stuff, and then it started turning into something else, and then it started turning into the SSDs and all types. It's like, my God. But anyway, all right, let's get to the last topic, because we'll talk about CES tomorrow. All right, so Slayer, is that cool?
Yes.
All right, so
that works for me, because that's a whole show in and of itself. If you really wanted.
You and you and PK would be going crazy, and then and the only thing that I was interested in was the I'm not even going to do that because we have a lady here, but it was a cool instrument. That was a cool instrument.
Wow,
I was gonna bring it up.
I don't know why you acting brand new. I know you like the toilet. That was your favorite thing.
You know what? I when I watched CVS last year, I did. They did
CES.
CES, whatever. I don't care. It's Let Me Be Country. But
Yeah, it shows.
That is not country. That is not country. Okay.
what did I say? I
CBS
said
is straight in New York. You said CBS, bro. I heard you.
CBS TV, whatever. It's still, you know what I'm saying?
CVS, we ain't in the goddamn pharmacy. Get out of
Anyway,
here.
all right. So let's get to the last topic so we get the hell out of here. All right. So basically, this kind of ties into the whole Star Wars Lucas Arts thing, and basically talking about EA. Pretty much lost the contract. They said the contract is going to be up probably in 2023. Lucas Arts is out, and they've already landed a game that's going to be coming on Ubisoft, and Massive will be the studio that's going to be working on this title. Now, I got a two-part on that, but the first thing is first is that I'm going to go to you on this one, Slayer, first. What is your thoughts about this? I mean, are you skeptical? Are you excited about
Massive?
About
Doing-
Massive? Yeah, you know, the people they've made Fallout. I mean, Far Cry. They've made
Well, they made Far Cry 3.
They made
They made both divisions.
Yeah, they made the divisions.
And they made. I was looking through their history, not to cut you off, but I looking through their history, and there was a point in the 360 era, I want to say, where they made games that seemed to be outside their thing, and they really returned to that with the division, or maybe they had to do this grunt work just to get the division to be made. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Because they made a Just Dance game, they made Far Cry 3 for consoles and PC. They made two other games that was just outside their mold, because the games before that were more strategy-esque type of games. Mm-hmm. So now I'm thinking, a developer like this, it's like, how can I put this? Sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Like, it's because, see, it's going to different studios, and it's just like, this is just the beginning. And I want to say it was Calibri, actually, who said it on Twitter, but it may not have been. But someone said on Twitter today, or earlier on yesterday maybe, that this is just the beginning of the purchasing wars. There's Amazon and Google and Microsoft. As big as the ZeniMax purchase was, this is not the end. This is not the end. Big names are being said, like, you know, EA level, everything that's as big as what you've heard, Take-Two's, like that these guys are actually trying to outright purchase. We debated a lot about that kind of stuff last year, and this isn't over. So you see this EA, but this specific thing, I mean, EA, under the watch of EA, under the watch of Disney and all of that, they had the Star Wars license, and this was when the whole loot box situation with Battlefront 2, I think it was, or was it
Battlefront 2?
Both of them.
Battlefront 2.
It was just 2. Okay. Oh, speaking of which, was on the Epic Store for free yesterday on PC. And it's what reminds me of all this whole past situation with the whole loot boxes and stuff. That did not look good for Disney. You know, EA doing all these shenanigans. So I think that might have been the thing that started this whole situation ending up the way it is now. Now, why this game went to Massive? Well, when I look at the developers and I look at Massive past history before the show, I looked on Wikipedia. This is why I know that they made a couple of games before they made the Division games that I feel were outside their mold, and maybe they had to do this grunt work to get the Division to be made. This is just a theory I have. That to make this game now, I feel this is the perfect developer that EA has that they can go to do this title, but it's just emblematic of something that could be a bigger situation. Now, this situation also had to do with, I feel, EA really treated the license badly with their poor business practices with the loot boxes and all of that. But other situations like this might happen in the future just because, you know, people, you know, have checks and they're fine with putting a lot of zeros at the end to get whoever or whatever they need, because they see a lot of money in gaming. And Amazon and Google are in it now, and Microsoft's not afraid to sign checks. So, yeah.
Okay.
Don't be surprised if you see more purchases, major purchases, in this next year or two.
All right. Okay. What about you? What about you, Michy? What do you think about this? I mean, how do you feel about Massive getting getting a title. We don't know which title it's going to be. It could be something completely different. But do you think that this is a good look? And also with LucasArts kind of pulling away from EA, is this one of those things where EA is? You think the EA is still going to keep some of the games that they've had, or will EA just kind of wash their hands with will Disney wash their hands with EA and just kind of move on and just start going to different developers and studios?
Wash their hands of EA. I think that the Fallen Order game, that was a great game.
Yes.
And that they made a lot of, they came up there. Where they had their downfall was Battlefront 2, and I think they won't have exclusive rights, but I think they'll still have some rights to Star Wars, while they'll shop the other stuff around. And and that I can, but otherwise, Division with lightsabers. I don't know, open world Star Wars lightsabers.
You wouldn't like that? You wouldn't be down for that? Oh, that sounds.
I don't know.
Four player. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna keep my excitement about it.
Maybe.
And tell you guys what I
sure.
think about it. But no. This you. So you're not feeling it. You're not feeling it, basically.
Well, I don't want Division to have lightsabers.
Okay.
Because that's what they do. They did 2 Division games.
Yes.
First one was very hard. The second one was just not interesting.
But who says it has to be a Jedi game? It doesn't have to be lightsabers, and they have some pretty good gunplay with those Division games.
I mean, think about this. Why don't they do like a bounty hunter game, right? Look at if anyone remembers PS2. If anyone remembers from the PS2, right? They did that Star Wars Boba Fett bounty hunter game. Why don't they do something different? I was like, they already established that bounty hunting is a big thing. We know that Mandalorians are more widespread, but just kind of been hiding with the success of like the Mandalorian TV show. And we know that there are also plenty of Rebel shows with the New Republic and Heroes, and a lot of new things coming up. There's a lot more that they have potential wise. They can do a good third-person shooter with the fact that they've kind of expanded that.
I guess what you think of when you think of Star Wars, you think of the whole Jedi thing. You're not thinking of, the bounty hunter type.
I don't know. I think that not Rogue Squadron, but there was public, like, what was it called? Republic Commandos. Republic Commandos was probably one of the best Star Wars games during that time, and that was all about a group of clone troopers.
Right.
So yeah, Star Wars is so vast. It doesn't just have to be Jedi. I mean, it is the first thing you think about, and they could very well do a title just like that, and it could be good or crap. Who knows? But
all right, but
it doesn't just have to be that.
But go ahead, finish, Michy. Go ahead.
I think it's going to be. I guess you guys think it's going to be like open worldy.
Yeah, like, I definitely think it's going to be an open world game. I really do think
it's their wheelhouse to make open world. Yeah,
with like 50 million question marks on your board.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Keep going. You're making the game right in my eyes.
And it's just so many question marks. You do one, and then you got like 10 more that pop up. It's just so much, overwhelming.
Okay, so you're not you're not digging it. Right now.
I love the Assassin's Creed games, and I play those, but it's just so much.
It can be
that you have that pops up on your board, and when you do one thing and you got more things that pop up. It's like a never-ending thing.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's why I've not played a single Assassin's Creed game, and I own like 4 or 5 of them. Like, I start getting heart palpitations. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuff.
So many options.
Yeah. Black Flag. I think that's the last one I finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all some
I played all of them, but that's the last one I've actually finished.
Well, I don't like the older Assassin's Creed, but I love the newer Assassin's Creed personally. So.
That's some first world problems, though, to have a game that's so vast and so much to do. But it'd be often just repetitive stuff. So never mind what I was gonna say.
I personally like games that gets my money's worth. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. So
I mean, y'all heard me
Yeah.
talk about the dollars to hour ratios. For every dollar that you spend, you should at least be able to get 1 hour out of it.
So
Yeah. As long as it's not repetitive, that's all.
Well, then Assassin's Creed, I guess, does that.
Oh yes, it definitely does that.
Yeah,
But,
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yeah.
the same thing. But hang on. The same thing could be said for Skyrim. The same thing could be said for Fallout. I was like, at the time, you're walking out in open environments. Yeah, they look pretty, but sometimes it's like, hey, guess what? I found a random cave, or hey, I found a random bunker. I'm going to go in there. You know, most people aren't going to do that unless they're just walking.
Or you boil it down and you get Death Stranding. You just walk. There you go.
Exactly. There you go.
But all right, let's go ahead and let me get the rest of the panel, and then we'll finish it off with this last point. What about you, PK? What do you think about the whole EA situation, and do you think that they're done with this? Is Disney done with them? And what about the massive deal? Do you think that that's one of those things where they could really make a really dope game, or are you kind of like Michelle here? That's like, I'm not feeling that too much. All right, but okay. So does anybody else have anything else that they want to include to this? Basically.
Well,
go ahead.
I actually had a take on it also. Well, first off, massive games being like doing a Star Wars game. I'm not a big Star Wars fan. That's just me. But I like massive games. I like the Division titles, even though Part 1 was much better than Part 2. I think they're a great studio, and Far Cry 3 to me was the best Far Cry. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with the IP. And I also like to see studios that's not known for something do something else. Kind of how like Machine Games is going to do an Indiana Jones game. You know, I would like to see. I don't know if the game is going to be first person or third person, but I would definitely like to see them work on something else. You know, like just to see the talent with that studio. And now, as far as EA, I do believe they are going to make another Fallen Order because, like we all mentioned, that game was great. So I believe, yeah, definitely. So that's pretty much what I think they said. They're still going to make EA still going to make some Star Wars games. Maybe that and maybe another Battlefront, but like you guys mentioned, it's not exclusive anymore, which I think is a good thing for the Star Wars brand. So
right.
That's all I got, man.
No, I totally agree with that. I think. Do anybody else got anything that they want to say before I make my last point?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I do.
Go ahead.
What I was trying to say was that I agree with what PK had said, is that, and I think everyone can agree here, is that what Respawn did, trying something completely different out of their wheelhouse, and Jedi Fallen Order was beyond an amazing game. They had great storytelling, they had wonderful gameplay, and it fit within the universe of Star Wars. That's what made it stand out. But we look at everything that EA has done overall. 4 games in a decade. Only one of them was really good. They had 2 Battlefronts. They had Jedi Fallen Order, and I think most recently they did Squadrons. And Squadrons is fairly okay. I was like, it really took the big aspect of what was enjoyable from Battlefront 2, which was the space combat, and made a full thing about it, and it had interesting lore behind it. But the thing is, they haven't had much success. And you look at the fallout that they had from Battlefront 2, and you think that they had one of the most talented studios for open world kind of combat and very big shooters with having the team behind what's it? I can't remember. See, it's their big shooter that competes with COD. I can't think of it. It's the one that you love a lot, KMEGA.
Are you talking about the
Battlefield?
Oh, Battlefield?
No, yeah, Battlefield.
Oh, you're talking about EA. Okay, I thought you. Okay,
yeah, EA. But the thing is, you had one of the most talented shooters out there, and the developers working on that, and you had a very two lackluster games, and only one game was successful, and that was from a studio that did something completely different, something that they're not even used to. Yes, that's great, but you still had exclusivity for a decade and did nothing with it. Here's the thing. While some people have the opinion that Ubisoft makes mediocre games, I will say that not all their games are great. But here's the thing that they do have, is they know how to support their games for long periods of time. A lot of their games come out bad, or at least they launch bad, and that's without a doubt. Rainbow Six Siege launched broken. For Honor launched broken. The Division 1 launched broken. even games like Watch Dogs and everything else, and even what we saw with Assassin's Creed, they all launched broken and very buggy. But guess what? They still supported those games. Rainbow Six Siege is now one of the biggest competitive shooters in the world. You saw the massive turnaround for The Division. They did an entire one. They also had the record for the biggest overhaul with what they did in, I think it was their 10.0 patch in Division 1 after having to push back all their DLC for almost a year while they completely overhauled their entire system. You see how the For Honor had a massive turnaround, and after the first year, everyone thought that game was going to die off, and now it's in year 5, year 6 now. Watch Dogs is now a fairly successful IP for them. We've seen how good, while also divisive, the Assassin's Creed series with the reboot has been as well. They may not be your taste, and yes, they may come out broken or buggy, but guess what? They support those games. Even look at look at what the team that did Ghost Recon, both Wildlands and Breakpoint. And KMEGA, you can vouch for this. Both of those games launched very buggy and very broken at first. But guess what?
Yeah.
Did they not continue to support those games?
Right. That's the.
Did they not fix a lot of those issues?
Yes.
Did they also not get a lot of extra content?
Right.
Look at how many crossovers events Ghost Recon alone has. Look at how many Wildlands has, and now how many Breakpoint has. Here's the thing. They're also getting one of their talented studios with Massive that while you may not like the Division games, there's one thing that is without a doubt is that the studios that they have working on any of the Tom Clancy games know how to world build. One thing that I love that Massive did is they know how to make very great lore for the worlds that they were creating with the Division. From both 1 and 2, a lot of the smaller stories or anything you found in all those echo locations and the echo stories that you find throughout the cities, very well written lore, along with all the things that you find that could play out into this very big story overall, even after the campaign, and how it ties to other games and how everything's tying all together. That is one thing that you have to give is the fact of you're talking about one of the biggest IPs in the world. Despite how people feel about Star Wars, it is still one of the most lucrative and still one of the biggest IPs in the world. And you're giving it to a studio, while you may not like them and they may have issues in the past, they still know how to world build. They still have talents that help in expanding. When you have a universe, an entire universe that you can do anything in, that gives them the freedom to write and get very creative with the stories that they do. And I think that's what's going to be interesting with Massive being the studio from Ubisoft that's going to be one of the first partners outside of just EA making a Star Wars game. Will it probably have bugs? That's without a doubt. Will it be how bad it is will be to be seen. But the thing is, yes, we know. But every major studio now has launched a game with bugs, and that's par for the course. You may not like them, and that's fine. You can say that. You can absolutely not like a studio. But the fact is, you have to look at the talents that they have. And that is where Massive really shines, is that they know how to world build. And that is what's going to be the big seller, is that if a game has lackluster... If a game has lackluster gameplay, most people won't do it, but some people will deal with it if the game has a gripping story. If a game has a good story, most people will put up with quite a bit of shenanigans to get through it. Everyone knows my complaints with my thoughts on the reboot of God of War, but guess what? I was also playing on the hardest difficulty and had very valid points on why I didn't like it, but I put up with it because, one, I'm also like to torture myself and play those harder style games, but I love the story.
But see, I have a different opinion, because see, I played it on the hardest difficulty and I enjoyed the hell out of it, except when I was fighting the Valkyries. But
you also know that I had certain mixed feelings about how the combat system played out.
Yeah, no, I got you on that. But go ahead, finish up so we can.
But again, I said I put up with it because the story that they did and how they rebooted the franchise was amazing, and I really loved what they were doing, and really looking forward to what they do with the next one. And me and my roommate, as we were playing through it, we were guessing what was going to happen next in the story, and some of it we were right on, some of it not so much, some of it may play out later on, but we're just like, oh shit, because it had a good story.
if it has a good world and it has a good story, some people will put up with certain aspects. And I think that's what you have to take into account too. Yes, first and foremost, gameplay has to be first and center. If it at least has very good handling, then yeah. I mean, look at how they changed Breakpoint from what it was look at how they changed Breakpoint from Wildlands. They added a lot of new stuff, changed some new, and removed some other things. Some people liked it for the better, some not so much. But guess what? Was it not still comprehensive?
Yeah, but it went through controversy because of the game being so broken. But I mean, but the game, they fixed it, and that was the thing overall. So I mean,
and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but I understand PK's point to the fact of saying, like, you know, when you took at some of their games and their track record with games being broken. What I just don't agree with is that the games are trash, because if those, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't get this. Like, that's the one, like, for this is what cracks me up over just all of a sudden out of the blue, is that all of a sudden, like, that was the one word that we all agreed that we just wouldn't say about video games, because it's all relative, it's all opinionated. You can't, another person's trash is another man's treasure. So obviously, just throwing that word around, I don't know. But hey, it is what it is, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and get to this on here. Sir X-Man, he says, nice background. KMEGA looks really good, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. He also says, Sea of Thieves is one of the top streamed games. Yes, it is. I mean, Sea of Thieves is one of the best new IPs that came out last gen, but you don't want the haters to know that. So it is what it is. But my last point on this is it's really clear. You've already named the name of the game that I was thinking about. There was two games, actually. I said it on the next podcast last night, and that was the Jedi Academy. Because when Michelle brought up the part about lightsabers, and I'm like, yes, that would be dope. And then, of course, it was the Commando game, and so I was thinking, like, that's probably what they'll do. If not, maybe some kind of bounty hunter, Boba Fett type of game, because their wheelhouse is about open world 4-player co-op. So, or 3 to 4 player co-op. So that to me is the perfect game. It don't really pretty much have to be Jedi. It could be something within the universe, and then it could be like, you know, in the same realm of what Division and Ghost Recon is. And I think it would work great, especially with Disney working behind it. And we know that anything that Disney wants to put their games in, is what I said earlier, is that, you know, the people gonna give that bag, and they're gonna put their best developers on it, because Disney expect those games to be high quality. So it's not gonna be some kind of Rudy Boot game. That game is gonna be solid. So I really am looking forward to that. And then my last point with EA, I still think EA, even though the contract is over, I think that EA will still make the Jedi Fallen Order, and I still think that they'll make Battlefront 2, because between both games, Battlefront 1 and 2, both those games, even through all the controversy, both games still sold about 40 million copies. So that's a lot of cheese. I know that Disney's looking at that, and on top of that, that's still one of the best looking shooters that's out. I mean, if you go back and play Battlefront 2 right now, you'll look like, damn, this game looks good. Wow, this game looks amazing. So I don't know, but anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here. It was very fun. It got eventful towards the end, but you know what? It is what it is, man. You never know what's going to happen on GRG, but that's okay. It is what it is. We'll keep it moving, keep it rocking. No stopping us. All right, so want to give a big shout out to my guest, Dirt. You know what I'm saying? What's up with you, boy? I have to thank you so much for coming on. I hope you will come back on again, man. You know, and hopefully and hopefully maybe you and PK can iron that shit out somewhere in the DM or something or whatever. I don't even know. That's bananas. But hey, you know what I'm saying? We all brothers here. We all gamers, and it is what it is. But where can they find you at? Thank you for coming, and man, let everybody know where you at. Where can they find you?
Yeah, man, check out my channel, Dirt Griggity. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you know, I have a podcast, a pro Xbox podcast called We Bleed Green Xbox Podcast on Monday evenings at 6:30 Eastern time. So stop by, check it out. You know, like KMEGA been in there before. We had all types of guests on. You know, and we have a lot of fun on there. So stop by and check it out, man. I appreciate the invite, bro.
Oh, no problem, bro. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, like I said, I'm gonna have to hit the rest of your crew up, man, so they can come on and give their voices and their opinions on the show. So,
Yeah,
all
for
right,
sure.
yeah, no doubt. All right, and then of course, you know, she came in a little bit late. Hopefully, we'll get to talk a little bit more tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because I want
After
to.
your Rams lose?
Watch your mouth, woman. Watch your mouth. We don't want that. We don't want that. Them Rams are gonna shock the world. No, they're so hurt. I don't think we're gonna get out of Green Bay. But if I win, you know you're gonna get a lot of trash talk. But
That's
anyway,
okay. I can take it.
I can take it too. So, Michy, how you say Michy die a lot?
Michy dies a lot.
Michy dies a lot. All right. So, y'all go. Where can they find you and check you out? I know that you don't have a channel so much per se, but you know, I see you out there on Twitter.
Yep. Twitter is at Michy71, and Xbox gamer tag is Michy1971, and that's about it
All right.
for me.
Nice. Thank you so much for stopping by on short notice because Clowns was sick. And he said that he'll try to come next week. Hopefully he can. If not, then we'll schedule him in later on. But I definitely appreciate him giving me the information to to at least me hit up Michy and see if she can come on with us. But Slayer, what's up with you, bro, man? Where everybody can find you at, man?
Yeah, well, as always, you can find me everywhere. Great games are played every platform, every network out there. You see the name Six Slayer, that's me, unless it's one of my nephews on one of these mobile games stealing my name. You can find me on Twitter, same name as always. Come check me out. And every week right here on GRG.
Nice. All right. And Bloody, I see you saying that you on Facebook more. What happened? Why do you slow down on Twitch?
Oh, I'll still be on Twitch. I'll just be doing more over on Facebook Gaming, just because of the fact that they have a bit more opportunities, and they also, with the fact that they're a built-in social media platform, they have a way to help kind of promote and shop your videos around to kind of help bring more attraction to it and have a little bit better discoverability than Twitch does.
Really?
Like Twitch is very hard. To be discovered on. There are some issues still with Facebook Gaming, but they have shown that they are trying to work on it, and they're also opening a lot of opportunities to POCs. So I'm trying to make a name as a Native American content creator out there. So a lot of people, especially a lot of other Black content creators, are kind of helping get me up there too. So opportunities, man. I'm looking around, but I'm still gonna be doing stuff on Twitch. As like I said, I'm gonna be doing more stuff on YouTube as well. Just got a lot of stuff trying to revamp behind moving as well.
No doubt. No, I totally get it. It's just exactly what have to do. I mean, GRG has been around for what, almost 4 years now. So I mean, it's revamp. You never know what happens, who stays, who goes, how everything works. But for people who do work on who have podcasts and things like that, it just comes with the territory. But always remember, GRG is going to be here every Friday night. So don't, what I'm saying, as long as I'm walking and breathing, GRG will be here. So, last but not least, man, I guess that's me. We got to get out of here. I was going to say PK, but he's gone. Sorry, man. Damn it. All right.
Well, before they get out, they can find me all over the place, man. They can find me on Twitter. They can find me on Instagram. They can find me on YouTube. They can find me on Twitch and now on Facebook Gaming, all that bloody nuts.
Yeah,
you know what it is. I'm be bringing Smash back this year. It took some time off for everyone, especially with how things were playing out last year for a lot of everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff in the works. Got some special opportunities coming up. So trust me, y'all guys want to make sure that y'all follow me everywhere for what's going to be coming down the pipeline for me.
Yeah, and no doubt. Also, like I said, I'll be bringing back GRG Extra. Used to call it GRG Uncut, but Extra is just the Uncut was being raw, because we was having raw guests and people just saying all types of shit. But this is just going to be the extra thing to where people who can't come on the show because of work-related situations or whatever, I'll do it. It'll be probably a once a month thing. It ain't gonna be a frequent thing that I'll do, and I'll try to find a actual day because there's so many podcasts and stuff on Saturdays. Maybe sometime, there's so many podcasts everywhere. You're gonna just
so many period.
Yeah, you're gonna step on somebody's toes eventually. But I definitely want to do this. Devin the Gamer will be back. Got some other stuff. Me and Xbox thinking about doing a podcast together. And man, just keep GRG rolling, keep just reaching out and just doing what we do, man. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that, and plus the stream Fight Night Sunday every Sunday night. We'll be streaming sometime Saturday night. So I hope you guys come and check us out. And also, like I said, GRG Extra will be there. It's going to be Michelle. She says she's going to come back. Thank you. And then Logan's going to be there, and Slayer said he was going to come. So see if any of the other guys want to come through. That would be great. But for everything else, man, we're still in the T-virus season. So I can't say my little saying because we can't do the pants off dance off yet. We got to stay safe, bro. We got to stay safe. So we got to stay safe. But everybody, thank you. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace out.
Woo.
To your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG Podcast.